All right, Shalom, Shalom. Yahweh Shema Mashiach, Kwamalak Kebashai Barkatham. We're about to rise up and face the east. We're going to blow the shofar and go through the Sabbath service through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Abashai. We're going to start with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew tongue. Then we're going to go into the curses in the Hebrew tongue, the blessings in the Hebrew tongue, the salute to Yahweh Bashmi Abashai in the Hebrew tongue, the 10 Commandments in the Hebrew tongue, the Shema in the Hebrew tongue, and we're going to close with a psalm for the Sabbath day. Con. Con. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malak Watka, Daba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashamayim, Datamanawa, Lacham, Kaliyawam, Wasilak Nawa, Kawap Wat Nawa, Kasilak Nawa, Kuwap Wapti Nawa, Wala'a, Tabi Anawa, Banasayawan, Abo, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha Allah, Wat the Parath, Lawalumyum. Amen. The curses in the Hebrew tongue. Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Yahweh, Pashim, Yahweh, Shalak, Rayam, Wa, Haydashim, Wa, Haragim, Wa, Mashpatim, Wa, Gador, Mawaf, Al, Kol, Adawanim, Wa, Gawayim, Wa, Ayab Yanawa, Babakashah, 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 Shalak, Ash, Ba, Shem, Bayap, Babakashah, Shabor, Ha, Lakaya, Shor, Ha, Ayabya, Babakashah, 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 Sur, Ma, Gayala, Ba, La, Masapat, the water, the water, the water. The blessings in the Hebrew tongue. Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Prakatha Yahweh, Yahweh, Pashim, Yahweh, Shalak, Al, Aliyah, Ha, Barak, Sha'or, Yahweh, La, Debar, Amaska, Ba, Kadash, Saparka, Wa, Rabium, Amawanium, Wa, Rabium, Kazakim, Wa, Rabium, Ahabium, Wa, Rabium, Rapium, Wa, Rabium, Silakim, Wa, Hatazaliah, Ayan, Ma, Kor, Rayam, Babakashah, 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 Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, the water, the water, the water. Amen. The salute in the Hebrew tongue. La'alanawa, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, La'alanawa, Kaya, the Shokin, Thun, Kabak, Baraka, Athan, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yasher Allah, Abba Yanawa, my Walam, Wa'ai, Awalam, Hallelujah, 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 Bahashim, Amashiach, Wamala, Yabushai, The 10 Commandments in the Hebrew tongue. La'ah, ya, la'ka, alahayum, aikorium, al, panya, la'ah, taisha, la'ka, pesor, wala'ah, taibatbai, la'ah, dalakakwa, shum, Yahweh, ba, shawat, zakor, ha, yawam, ha, shabbat, la, kadash, wa, kabad, abaka, wa, amaka, la, that's where it is up. La, dana up, la, taganab, la, daina, shakor, la, takamab, call, I sure, la, right good, amen. The Shemai in the Hebrew tongue. Shemai. Yasher Allah. Yahweh. Allah Hayinawa. Yahweh. Shemai. Yasher Allah. Yahweh. Allah Hayinawa. Yahweh. Shemai. Yasher Allah. Yahweh. Allah Hayinawa. Yahweh. Amen. The psalm for the Sabbath day.
Psalm chapter 92, a psalm or song for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praise unto thy name, O Most High. To shoot forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy works. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the works of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Lord, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered, but my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on my enemies. In mine ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing to shoot. That the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Bashima Mashiach Yahushua.
Bashima Mashiach Yahushua. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Okay, shalom, 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 mighty brothers of Watchmen for Israel, shalom. Shalom to the brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, you brothers that are putting your brick in the last days, you brothers that are magnifying the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you brothers that are waxing bold in the spirit, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sakes, enduring the elements, enduring the trials, enduring the tribulations, and enduring the hardships, and enduring all manner of wickedness and confusion and opposition that is coming to us in the last days. Every maybe three times a year, every so-called quarter or so, primarily leading up into major feast days, we have to do an all rank, all body class. We tend to do one for you newer brothers before the Feast of Tabernacles and before the Day of Atonement. We do one before the Passover, and we usually do one before Pentecost sometimes. So we want to be back in that spirit of being consistent with these all rank, all body classes. And the purpose of the class is to make sure that we all speak the same thing, right? That we all are one accord, that our minds are all united, that we're knit perfectly together, that there be no schisms in the body, that there's no confusion, that we go back over camp structure, we go back over the brotherhood, how things are supposed to go. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, this is a pre-Passover 2026 call, Avoiding the Sifter. So we're going to go into camp structure. We're going to go back over some things. We have some updates, some new things that we want brothers to be informed of concerned in the body. We have updates going into Pentecost. There's many things that we want to bring out to the table and exhort brothers to continue in the faith, right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So let's go to 1 Corinthians real quick. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and 10, right? Just to kick it off with this.
It's a book of 1 Corinthians.
So this is Avoiding the Sifter. We're going back over camp structure, rank, guidelines, formalities. We're going to do a particular small lesson, exhortation, precepts, very, very brief, right? But we want to go back over this because, again, you have newer brothers in the camp. We want to have sustainability in the body, right? We don't want to have processes and have guidelines and structure implemented, and then it falls to the wayside, and brothers forget about it. And some brothers don't know, right? Some brothers may not know, man. We want to go back over these things, right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So go to 1 Corinthians 1 and 10, King.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse number 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Yahweh HaMashiach, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
So we want to make decisions the same way, right? The judgment is a decision, right? So how we view a matter, we should all view the matter with the same level of intensity, right? Or we should view the matter according to the precepts of the Most High, right? I can't look at a brother and make a decision, and then Amos says, well, maybe, we should handle it like this. Then Ariah says, well, maybe we should do this. And well, we all want to speak the same thing, Con. We all want to approach matters the same way, whether it's a small matter or rather it's a great matter, Con. We want to make sure that we all are on one accord on what our focus is in the last days, what our mission is to be, how we're going to serve the Most High. Right? You have over, 200 plus brothers in the body besides women and children. Maybe 500, maybe there's a lot of souls that we all are responsible for, man. Especially you brothers in positions of leadership. You fathers, you understand, you men of the Lord that are out there, you have a very weighty responsibility. And we moving as an army, we got to make sure that we moving on the same spirit. Con, let's go to 2 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. Well, let's get verse number 17.
Con, 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse number 17. Did I make a gain of you by any of them whom I sent unto you? I desired Titus, and with him I sent a brother. Did Titus make a gain of you? Walked we not in the same spirit?
What the Lord say?
Walked we not in the same spirit? Walked we not in the same steps?
Right, so Titus was out of Corinth, checking on the church of Corinth, gathering alms, exhorting the brothers. And however Titus moved, when Paul got there, Paul moved the same way. You don't have to be immediately next to a brother to move in the same spirit. Right? We got brothers in Europe, man. We have brothers all throughout the four corners of the world, and we hope and trust that brothers, no matter where you are, that we're all moving in the same spirit, right? Striving to move in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. And there's no brother that's looking to cause discord, confusion, rebel, seek preeminence, vainglory, right? And all backbiting, murmuring, right? And all manner of confusion, right? This is one of the, again, titles of this is avoiding a sifter. This is sifting season, right? How to avoid and how to deal with Satan, man. Because Satan is going to infiltrate the brotherhood. Satan is going to put you and the brother against one another, disrupt marriages, cause there are many splits, right, in Israel, cause splits and confusion. It's our job to make sure that we avoid that at all costs. Con, we too late at the end of this thing for brothers to be splitting and causing confusion, and he go that way, I go that way. We need each other, right? Much more than ever. You see what's going on in the world, right? You see what's going on with America. They're moving like a madman throughout the four corners of the earth. They're erratic. They're moving as the spirit of a drunken man, pursuing Isaiah the 19th chapter. They're in Greenland. They're in Middle East. They're in Venezuela, right? They just lusting for blood and natural resources, man. You see the laws that are being passed with the ADL, with Palantir, right? With AI software, with hate speech to be able to shut this ministry down, right? You see what's going on with ICE and the verification of your citizenship, and many other things are intensifying as we approach the end of the world. Con, so we have to go back over this. Yes, we can go over prophecy. We can go over breakdowns. We can go over parables and dark sayings. But what good is it going to profit you to have that knowledge, but you have no understanding on how to survive as brothers in the last days? There's nothing more important than surviving together, right? There's nothing more important than supporting one another, being there for your brother, being your brother's keeper, checking on your brother, exhorting your brother, going into these lessons because we are one body. Con?
Let's go to Romans chapter 12 and start at verse number 4. Right, like the brother said, it doesn't matter which city that you may travel to, right, throughout the four corners of the earth, we should all be on one accord, speaking the same thing. It should be like you never even left your city. It should be like the brother who's next to you is like the brother who's always next to you. And that's why it's important to adhere to all these guidelines, to adhere to all these judgments. Everything set in place is so we could be a well-oiled machine, acceptable in the sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Right? We don't want any confusion. We don't want sedition, uproar, murmuring. Right? Brothers are open enough to be able to receive any conversation. Right? Don't feel like you have to go to any outside source. When you have brothers from East Coast to West Coast, the islands, Europe, that you can speak to candidly, and we should all be able to guide you the same way through the precepts, through familiarity. So like, getting tongue tied, right? Being able to help you build yourself up, being able to help you avoid from destroying yourself, right? That's the sole purpose of these all body classes, is to make sure we lose no sheep going into these major feast days, to make sure we increase in works, like the brother said, brotherhood, fatherhood, husbandry, all matter of manly duties we want to continue to increase. But let's bring that out, King.
Gone. The book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse number 4. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another.
Right? So there's many members in the bodies. We have a lot of offices that are withheld, right? A lot of this is really going into men thinking too high of themselves, right? But this is it's also on twofold, knowing that we all work in unison to magnify the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? It should be no jealousy, envy, right? Covetousness, because the works that this brother does, it helps me fulfill my office 10 times better. The work that this brother does helps the next brother fulfill his office 10 times better, right? We have to continue to have I am my brother's keeper mind frame while we move closer to the last days, right? While we get closer to the end of this white man's kingdom, we have to understand that it's not I, it's us, right? It's our kingdom that we're trying to get. It's not just Naquam's kingdom, Ariah's kingdom, Amos's kingdom. It's the kingdom of Israel being set up. So all the works that we're trying to do is to make sure that we have no splits, no seditions, right? We've dealt with it before, but it's our job to foresee the evil and hide from it.
Come, and quick precept if you can. Can we go to the book of First Corinthians, chapter 12, and start at verse 14? Just to let me back off what the brother had brought out. Come, First
It's
Corinthians.
the book of First Corinthians, chapter 12, and verse number 14, and it reads, "For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, and I am not of the body, it is therefore not the body."
Right, calm. That's what the brother Amos had touched on, man. We have many different offices. Brothers bring all different gifts and talents. You know, certain brothers are extremely, they have the ability to be mighty in charity, man. Like when you go into the scriptures, right? Joseph of Arimatheus, man. He was able to have the ability and funds to take care of the Lord, man. Right? You got brothers that have talents, to have diverse tongues and languages. Brothers could speak English, French, Spanish, Latin, Hebrew, man. Hey, these are different gifts, man. Every brother can be counsel, as Amos. Every brother can't, go into the prophecies, deep dive as Naquan, man. Every brother has a different talent and gift, right? And every brother can't just be the camp priest and the scribe and the historian at the same time, man. We have different talents, different diversity, and different gifts. So just because you may not be right the hand or the foot, man, hey, you may be the great toe, man. Right, which the great toe is needed for what? For balance, man. A brother may be the great thumb, man. Right, the right eye, right, the ear, man. Hey, all parts are essential and needed for the body, which is why it's extremely important, man, that all brothers are on the same accord, and everyone you perform your function to the best of your ability. Read on.
Verse 16, "And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I, Salakia, am not the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the whole body were an eye, were the hearing?"
Right. If all brothers only knew one thing or only focus on one part, man, then we would be lacking, right, completely as a whole, man. Right. If every brother just wanted to go and just dive into deep dark prophecy, right? Everyone is standing in the book of 2 Corinthians 11 to 12, right? Daniel 11, right? But there's no balance, right? There's no charity, right? There's no love, no equity. There's no traveling, building up the tabernacles thereof, man. Right? Then we will all be lacking, man. Right? Read on.
If the whole, Salakia, were hearing, where were the smelling? But now have God set the members, every one of them, in the body as it had pleased him.
As it what?
As it had pleased him.
Right. So the Most High has set everyone up in their office and in their lot as it had pleased him, man. Not for a brother to have a spirit of preeminence, man. Right. To want to be something that that the Lord hasn't called you, or the Most High hasn't called you yet to be in that position. Right. But the Lord has fashioned every brother, right, in this body, right, as it pleases him. Brother Scott.
So we sent out the agenda to the brothers in the leadership chat about what we're going into through the Spirit. Make sure you brothers take attendance. We should have 100% attendance on this call, right? Unless there's some dire circumstance, which still should be communicated if possible. But make sure brothers take attendance. So we're going to dive right into it. Every brother should have. We're going to make sure y'all brothers got it too. All of the documents and the guidelines. Brother should have access to it, the box app, and how we go about it. So we want to send that out to brothers. It's in the one of the other chats. So first and foremost, we're going to go into the camp rank structure and responsibility. Right? Gabar just went through the precept where it says we all have different offices. Right? We have different offices. It's important as a congregation to understand, Salakia, to understand that everybody's important. Everybody's important. Doesn't matter if you've been in this truth for 1 day or 1,000 days. You've been in the camp 10 years or 10 minutes. Every brother is important. And we need every single brother to understand that you have gifts and talents, rather they're suppressed and you may not be aware of it, or you may be cognizant of it and you bring those talents to the table. The Most High is bringing men into to this fold to labor, right? He's bringing men into labor and to use the talents and the gifts the Most High gave you, right? Give me Ezekiel the classic, 37:10. Right? Ezekiel chapter 37:10. So every brother plays a part in the army. And we're the body of Yahweh Shai. Right? The word body in the Latin means corpus. That's where you get a corporation from. A corporation goes back to the Latin word corpus, which is a body. Right? And in a corporation, you have many different ranks and structure. Huh? You got CEOs, CFOs, vice presidents of finance. You have accountants. You have janitors. You got the window washers. You got what's another office? You got people that work in the kitchen, man. You got chefs that are on site. You got maintenance. You got janitors. You got risk management. You got people they on a forklift, you know, and everybody's important, man. Every one of those offices are important. Because if you don't have no janitor, ain't nobody coming to work, man. Trash piling up, bathrooms filthy, sanitation problems. The whole business is shut down. CEO can't do nothing if they condemn the building. You know, if they violate city laws and things like that, man. So everybody's important through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Khan, you may not teach all the time, you may not read all the time, but every brother is important. Khan, Ezekiel 37:10.
Khan, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, and verse number 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
You know, a bunch of Negroes with Bibles.
An exceeding great army.
Guys out there just getting on the white man.
An exceeding great army.
So we are an exceeding great army, Khan. We can't look at the so-called Chinese man and how they march like toy soldiers and these Koreans and these Russians and glory and their order, man. Right? We are the pinnacle of the creation of the Most High, Khan. So if anybody's going to be an example of being in order, don't let it be a damn Moabite, man. Because they do that, they go back and they eat all manner of wickedness, man, and cause all manner of confusion. We have to be, give me Deuteronomy 4:5 real quick. We have to be in the sight of the nations, a wise and understanding people. God, the Lord, when he brought us out of Egypt, he built a government. He established a government. He established rank. He established order. He set up captains of 50s, captains of thousands, captains of 10,000s, counselors and judges. God, the Most High set that up. Right? Bring that out, King.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse number 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me.
And these statutes and judgments are not just, okay, thou shalt not eat pork, thou shalt not lie, right? Don't eat, grow your beard out. There are statutes on how to make inquisition. There are statutes of war. There are statutes of structure. If matters that have to be escalated, right? Who does it go to? Matters that go to the high priest. You have judgments that show you the different classes of priests, the Kohathites, the Marathites, the Gershonites, right? So the Lord has taught us statutes and judgments. And the Most High, he does everything in order. God, everything's very meticulous and precise with the Most High. He said he weighed the dust in the balance. The Lord knows how many dust particles there are on the earth, how many hairs you have on your head. Everything's defined with numbers and order and weights and measures. God, read on, King.
God. It reads, even as the Lord my God commanded me that ye should go, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Right.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
In the what?
In the sight of the nations.
Right.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation,
No, this ordinary nation.
this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
You know, a lot of people look at the East Indian man and Chinese man as the intellectuals of the world, right? The physicians, the doctors. People are inclined to think that they're naturally smart, huh? That's how they look at the nations, right? He's a doctor, he's a lawyer. And we used to be like that, man. They would look at all of us and say, that's one of them Israelites, man. They know how to do all things. They have the Most High God. They have his son, Yahweh Shai. They have a temple. They have a priesthood. We have to get back to that. And we can only get back to that if we fall in line and we all stay in order, huh? That's how we become, in the sight of the nations, a wise and understanding people. I got one more real quick before we go into it. Psalms 50, right? Give me Psalms chapter 50 and 21.
Psalm chapter 50 and verse number 21. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself.
Right. Esau has done evil on the earth, and they think the Most High is with them because God hasn't judged them yet. Read on.
But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
And do what?
And set them in order before thine eyes.
Before the eyes of the so-called white man, we are being set in order. God. Right. That's why we are a nation in exile that are being brought back as an army. We're literally in the eyes of Esau are his physical eyes, his cameras, his AI systems, right? His satellites, right? All his spies. We are being set in order in the last days before the face of the whole world, Con. So we have to make sure we keep order. Sustainability is one of the keys to being successful for any corporation. That's why what's the company been around a long time? McDonald's, Walmart. They don't deviate, right? They don't deviate from their mission statement. They don't change who they are every 5 years, right? They're the same, have the same focus, the same mission, and they're always what? They're always evolving. They grow with the times. That's called continuous improvement. It's not the same Walmart in the 80s. It's not the Walmart in 2025. They're adapted. What's the word? They know how to adapt. Innovative. They grow and they sustain things. Sustain mean, okay, we're going to do this, but we're not going to change it, right? We're going to do this. We're going to be consistent about it. Those are key characteristics of successful corporations. Con, sustainability, accountability, adaptability, continuous improvement. These are the keeping order. These are the things that we have to maintain. Con, right? So let's go into these camp rank structure and responsibilities. All right, so we have different, for brothers that don't know, we have different camp rank structure responsibilities. Starting from the bottom on up, you have camp members. You have prospects. You have soldiers. We have lieutenants. We have officers. We have senior officers. We have captains. We have generals. And we have the camp leaders / vanguards. Con, a camp member is a brother who comes out to hear the words of the Lord, right? He comes out, or we call him a friend of the camp, right? He's a friend of the camp. The brother, he may show up, the brother may give alms. He may come out every now and then. He may, provide umbrellas or food, or he might just come hear the words of the Lord every now and then. He may not be invested in joining the camp, but we would never shun a brother because he's not in WFI. That's wickedness and confusion, right? We don't force brothers to join the camp. If it's on your spirit to join the body, then that's on you. We're still going to love you all the same, Con. Right? We're not going to mistreat you or shun you. You understand? But there are, for camp members, there are certain things that they may not have access to, certain permissions and certain, events and things of that nature, because we have to test and prove, brothers, Con. So if a brother's a camp member, he's been coming out. Hey, brothers, I've been watching y'all on YouTube. Hey, I want to, see what you brothers are about. And believe it or not, brothers prove us as much as we prove them. Right? So brothers come out, let me really see if these men are men of the Lord, man. Let me see what kind of spirit. It's not always us proving them. They looking at our spirits. They following 1 John 4:1, Sirach 6 or 7. They know the precepts too. If they watch and they know the precepts, most I will. And they're applying them. So let's say the brother in the process of time, he's coming out, it's been a month or so, and look, I want to join the congregation. Right? I believe what you brothers are doing is the right thing. Y'all are sealing the elect, most high willing. Y'all are waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. My spirit kind of resonates with y'all's, because brother spirits resonate with different congregations. So his spirit might resonate with brothers, but he might like the way Ariah go into the lessons, or Amos Gabar, or he might like Nashaiah. He like brother spirits. He might like, how we go about things. Now, at that point, he goes through the prospect program, which Gabar is going to touch on later in this lesson. He'll go through the prospect program. The prospect program is also being revamped for brothers. We just throwing that out there, kind of foreshadowing. The prospect program is being revamped. It's being modified, right? And Gabar is going to touch on all of that in time to come. But nevertheless, we interview that brother, right? A brother, we ask him certain questions to determine where his spirit is at, why he wants to join the camp, what his past may have been, what spirits he struggled with, what gifts he has. There's a particular process we go through. And then once that brother goes to the prospect program, which is 9 months, if I'm not mistaken, roughly 9 months or so, then that brother is promoted into the body as a soldier. He comes into the camp as a soldier. Now, as the camp grows and as a needs basis arises, then that brother can be promoted to a lieutenant, right? And then from a lieutenant, he can become an officer. And from an officer, he can become a senior officer, which are your more veteran officers, right? These are brothers that's been in the camp a lot longer. They're battle tested. They're more experienced in matters. They've been in particular councils, right? They can handle particular events. Then above that, you have your captains, right? So your captains are some of your most senior men in the body, right? Brothers been in the camp, 7 years or so, 8 years or so. Again, experienced, battle tested, right? Travel. They can give counsel, give wisdom, do lessons, exhort brothers, right? Lead an army, lead the march, etc. Then above them, you have our generals. The generals are essentially the top counselors in the camp, right? Who handle all matters over all of the different regions. Each captain is over a region in the camp. The camp is divided into 5 different regions, somewhat, right? East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down south. You got the Caribbean, really 6. You got Europe, all in all. So that's how we segregate into different regions. The generals oversee all of those regional captains. A lot of brothers may not know the framework of the body, right? So we want brothers to know that. That's the framework of the body. Then above that, you have the camp leaders or vanguards, which pretty much ensure that things are being ran according to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Along with many other things. So I'll run through this quick. You have something? I'm gonna run through this quick. So camp leaders, vanguards, here's the duties of those brothers, right? Here's the duties of those brothers. And as we go through each one, you have to ask yourself, am I upholding my office? And you brothers that are above them in rank, you have to make sure that they're holding their office. You can't sit there, well, that's my best friend, brother Benjamin, and brother Judah. Judah's the officer of the camp, but Judah never comes to camp, right? All of the soldiers come to camp, but Officer Judah doesn't come to camp. You're the senior officer of the camp. You don't want to say nothing to that brother, right? Because that brother give you rods to work, right? You've been knowing that brother for 5 years. No, you got to get on that brother. This is not going to work if brothers are respected persons, right? Peter got on Yahushua got on Peter. Paul says some things to Peter too, man. Barney, hey, this thing can happen, So accountability is another thing. A lot of corporations fall apart due to lack of accountability. That's why they're not working right, man. You two buddy with your supervisor, ain't nothing getting done. Company falling behind. They call it a country club mentality. Brothers ever heard that? A country club mentality. I mean, everybody come in, they just chilling. Boss chilling. Ain't nobody making no money. Right? Ain't nothing getting done. Stuff breaking apart. This is not a country club, man. A hangout spot, like the brother said. Brothers had them kind of jobs, man. Now, 3 years, you done left the job. Oh, they closed. I didn't know they closed. What happened? Right? Because it wasn't about their business. Right, So structural development, oversight of all WFI operations. These are the duties. Evaluate work ethic of members in all WFI. Right? Okay. Evaluate work ethic of all members of WFI, oversee expansion opportunities, assess various risks, and monitor all functions of the camp. 2 to 3 videos a week, and we hold final counsels and judgment. Right? So structural development is, again, what we just went into, the networking and the framework and how the camp operates. That's myself and Amos' job, right? To ensure that things are done in order, right? And if the camp, if we're going to get another camp, what the risk is it going to be? Do we have enough men? Do we have enough resources, finances? All of those various factors we have to take into account. God. And again, brothers hold us accountable, right? Any brother can hold us accountable, man. Right? Hold on, brothers. Y'all, you brother said that y'all supposed to be doing 2 to 3 videos. Right? I haven't seen a video from Naquam in 5 months. Right? And you could get on me, man. And I'm liable to judgment too, Con. Right? There's no respect of persons. There's no respect of persons. So ensuring that the camp is ran smoothly and matters are handled wisely to protect. It's our job to protect brothers, right? To put processes and people in play to make sure our families are safe, our wives are safe. There's no evil demons coming in. There's no strange doctrine sifting in, right? Feast days are done in order. The calendar is made, right? There are bylaws set into play to make sure that all things are being ran smoothly. That's the job of us through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shah. Then you got the generals. So we got 2 generals. You got the mighty brother Ariah. You got the mighty brother Yaradan. Those are the generals in the camp. And again, they oversee the heads of the different regions, right? They oversee the heads of the different regions. The heads of the different regions provide a report every month on the estate of their region. All right, here's an example. Gabar, he's over the south, right? He oversees the south camps. I'm not going to name them all, but Memphis, Little Rock, Atlanta, etc., right? St. Louis is in the south for now. So he's overseeing those different officers and making sure that each one of those cities are being ran smoothly. Con, every month, he has to give an account of what's going on in his region in great detail. There's a whole report that the brother has to do. That gets sent to Ariah and Yaradan, right? And they look at it and they ask questions and they prove the matter and determine what things are true, what things are lacking, why is this still happening in the camp, right? Why is this still going on? Okay, this is getting strong. This brother's doing well. So there's a whole list of questions that brothers ask brothers to ensure and improve brothers, right? To make sure those things are being ran smoothly. Con, that's the job of the generals. They're on top councils. Extremely weighty councils, they're on those councils, right? Rather it's 3 hours or 2 hours, right? It's our job to hold final councils on matters in the camp. Con, so there's a lot. When brothers aren't doing videos, brothers ain't playing Scrabble, right? Brothers are. We was on almost a 2-hour council. Gabar, when you call brothers about the matter in the south, it was like 11:30. Right, 11 something at night, man. We was on that call for almost 90 minutes. So we've been on councils, been 3 hours. 5-hour councils, man. I remember we had a 5-hour council, right? But nevertheless, the point is we have councils, we do videos, we call brothers, check on brothers. We run different analysis with the camp. We got different metrics set up. We got how we grade things. We look at things from a high level. Con, that's the job of the generals to do all of that. Then you got the captains. So the captains, they're over the particular regions. The South, the Midwest, the West Coast, Europe, and down south. Right? They answer all of the emails. They monitor where we have the trials page. They have to do at least 2 code cuts a week. They update the spreadsheet, and they hold every officer accountable in their region. Con, so every officer is required to do a what we call a bi-weekly camp report. Right? This is the transparency of the framework of the camp. So every 2 weeks, the officer looks at the state of the camp. There's a form they fill out, very high level, detailed. They fill that out. It's sent out to the head to the region. The captains every 2 weeks, and they assess the camp every 2 weeks on particular matters. Con, that's how it works. Trying to go through this quickly. So then you got the senior officers, right? Senior officers, they have more flexibility due to their experience, so they can take on more roles. They can host a unity camp. They can host a major feast day, right? They hold men's calls and prospect calls, right? They organize camps, and they have to do 1 video a week to keep the spreadsheet up to date. So they do a lot of groundwork, for lack of better terms, the grunt work, dirty work of the camp. That's the job of the single officer. Then you got the officers. Every camp has an officer that's over them. God, the job of the officer is to ensure that the soldiers are in the spirit and that things are being ran smoothly. Right? That's their job. They have to do their videos and they check on the prospects to make sure that the prospects are going through the prospect program correctly. Con, you got the soldiers. The soldiers are an integral part of the camp. Right? Now, soldiers hold different offices too. A soldier could be a camp priest. A soldier could be a scribe. A soldier could be a master of the feast. These are other offices that soldiers have, right? So they're the core of the congregation. God, we have more soldiers than anything, right? So the soldiers are the backbone of the congregation. With their gifts and talents that they bring to the table and the offices that they hold, they essentially uphold the camp. They uphold the camp. If you look at it like, I don't want to use a pyramid, but like a building block, they uphold the structure of the congregation. God, due to all of the things that they do. And all we ask the soldiers is to show up on time. Be on a soldier call. Right? We don't ask you to do 50 push-ups. Right? Send us a live, hit us up on Zoom. Let me see you do your 50 push-ups. Right? Turn your camera on. Right? That's not a full push-up. Go all the way down. Right? All right, sit-ups. Right? Now, we don't do that, man. Right? We're not here to do the most. Right? On the left-hand side. To overburden brothers, but it's our job to make sure that the brothers are growing, God, developing, right, and increasing in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Right, and then you have your prospects, right? Prospects, their job is to come to camp, take notes, learn, observe brothers' behavior patterns, the precepts, so they can understand exactly what this truth is about, right? So that's the job of the prospects. Stay on the gauntlets, be in contact. I skipped the lieutenants a lot. Be in contact with the lieutenants. And the lieutenants, they have a group chat. Right? So we have the lieutenants whose job is to make sure that the officer is able to perform and be his support system. Take on some of the things that he may not be able to do. Check on the prospects, amongst other things. Setting up schedules and one-on-ones with brothers. That's the job of the lieutenants. And I went into the prospects already. And we have other officers too. Right? As I close up, you have the master of the feast. His job is to set up and organize all of the feast days. God, right? If we don't have a master of the feast, then get one. Right? It's his job to make sure brothers know, hey, this is the new moon coming up. Hey, make sure you bring this. Oh, you said you was going to bring, I don't know, chips. Okay, but you didn't bring it. What's going on? Here's the venue. Here's how much it costs. Right? Wear this. We wearing that. Right? What is your household bringing? That's the job of the master of the feast. The brother Yazirak out in Philly, he pretty much ensures that the brothers are out there, that the feast days are being ran smoothly. Him and the brother Tahawar out there in Milwaukee, right? The officer Tahawar. Then you got the camp scribes. The one out here in Baltimore oversees all of the scribes, and the scribes are on fire. I mean, they're so on fire, man. They're dealing with the AI, the information. They got trailers. They got trailers now. Brothers doing their thing, man. Shout out to the scribes, man. So any brother, you could be a scribe. There's work that has to be done. If you're not doing something, ask. What can I do? Don't be the brother that just, like you said, a hangout spot. You come to camp and you just every now and then you open up your book bag and touch the E&J bottle. Right? You act like, let me grab a pocket. Let me grab. You just want to touch, look at it, take it out, put it back, man. Because you just ready for the parking lot drunkenness, man. I got a new parking. You got a new parking lot. You got a new parking lot every week, man. You want brothers to get drunk in. Come to camp and do something, man. And be like an ant. Right? Be like an ant and constantly stay in motion, con. Right? So again, that's the job of the soldiers, and it could be a scribe. Right? What else? See, we have the historians. I mean, the historians are on fire too. They have thumbnails with their schedules. The brother Ariel, Tahawar, them brothers out there from Indianapolis, right, are holding that down, man. They hold down them historian calls. So shout out to them historians. They get mighty information. They dive into books. They was going into the ancient world, you know, the history of Christmas and all these things. And they bring that information to the table. And they get all that information into one central place. So shout out to the historians, man, right, for the work that they do. You got the recorders that the brother Nashaiah oversees. So the recorders, their job is to ensure that every camp is up to par with the latest technology. Videos are being uploaded, reels. They have access to all social media platforms to push the word on a higher level. Con, what good is it going to camp if nobody is able to see the work of the Most High? So it's their job to essentially be that oil to let our light shine and ensure that the word is being as efficient as possible. Con, brother seen the Sabbath service, the damn sound was all messed up, and all right, you couldn't hear anybody, and the camera was black and dim, and the job of the recorder is to make that look good, con, right? To bring the sheep in. So that's the job of the recorders, amongst many other things. And the treasurers, shout out to the treasurers, con. The treasurers are on point. The brother Yashpa all in Chicago oversees the treasurers. And those brothers are very diligent, ensuring that brothers are putting in their arms, making sure that spreadsheets are up to date. There's financial stability. Things are documented. Things are audited. We have enough money to be able to get things done. The Lord said, money answereth all things. Right? If a brother falls on hard times, he need a new transmission. Brother, house got broken into, something happened. And we can't snap our fingers, man. I don't have 2,000 just sitting on. Right? So we use each other. And the treasurer's job is to make sure that decisions financially are done in wisdom so brothers can get the help that they need. God, and also to get on brothers that don't put into the treasury and rebuke brothers for their selfishness. That's the job of the treasurers. God, did I cover every office? Yeah, Slocky Khan. Yeah, all praise to the Most High. And we got the warlike apparel department. So, and we're going to touch on it. Every brother's going to get new hoodies, Khan, and new shirts. So the brother, the officer Mataziah out there in St. Louis has been spearheading the project to get every brother a new hoodie, like the one I got on through the Spirit that we got in Nashville, and 2 new shirts, a blue WFI shirt and a black WFI shirt. Khan. So he's also getting the brothers the links they need to get Passover garments, getting the brothers looking up new information on how we can have different garments. And, you know, that's the warlike apparel chat. It's brothers up there that can make garments, that can sew, and that are innovative and that have networking and logistics skills to get brothers the apparel that they need. God, and every soldier, you have an opportunity to get into one of these offices, man, to help magnify the name of the Most High. So those are the different offices. Those are the camp breaking structure. God. If you have any questions regarding camp breaking responsibility, ask your officer. Right? Ask your officer. If your officer don't know, then he should reach out to the senior officer and or the head of his region. Con? Right? So we about to go into the next thing through the Spirit.
Slocky, did we touch on the discipline and councils?
Oh, no, we didn't. Slocky, the water king. Right, I just went over the rank. So let me go over that. Right, the water. So with that being said, with every office, if you're not upholding your office, then there's a disciplinary action that comes with that. Right? So if you're supposed to put in arms, or if you're supposed to show up to camp on time, if you're supposed to do your videos, if you're supposed to hold whatever duty it is, if you don't do it, then brother's going to get on you. And you should want to get God on. And we should want to hold each other accountable. So there's a verbal warning. Let's say you're a soldier and you said, you know, I'm not coming to camp today. The hell with that. It's too cold out there. Right? It's too cold out there. I'm staying at home where it's nice and hot. Let's say that was your mind. First time, the brother's going to call you. You did a no call, no show. Right? You ain't let brothers know what's going on. Right? And you showed up with that E&J bottle after camp. You snuck into the Quabatage, right, with that E&J bottle after camp. Brothers are going to give you a verbal warning. They're going to get on you. They're going to chastise you. And then after that, it's a 1-week suspension. Right? And then we have more modified judgments we're going to go into later. Then after that, it's a 2-week suspension. Then after that, there's a demotion. Any brother can get demoted, right? Any brother could be an officer and go back to a soldier. Any soldier can go back to a prospect. Any prospect can go back to a camp member. Any captain can go back to a single officer. Any vanguard can go back to a general. Any general can go back to a captain. There's nobody exempt from judgment, God. So every brother has to make sure that everybody's holding each other accountable, because you can get demoted or you can get promoted based off of your work ethic and the need of that particular office. So those are some of the judgments. We're going to touch on those later as a body, right? It says these are not all inclusive. So this doesn't touch on everything. Some judgments are going to be based off of a particular case by case basis. And Amos is going to touch on that later, Lord willing. These are not all inclusive, as some trespasses, depending on the severity of the offense, are subject to escalation in council or other forms of discipline, including but are not limited to multiple month suspensions. We're going to touch on that, heavy burdens, and permanent removal from the camp. Con. So if you show up to camp and you late the first time, then you show up the second time and brothers suspend you, say, man, the hell with y'all, I'm going to destroy y'all. Right? You start cussing brothers out, you swinging on brothers. We ain't going to suspend you for 2 weeks. You got to go. You spitting on brothers, right? Throwing brothers' bags in the harbor. Brothers got all hell breaking loose, man. You got to go. Ain't no 2-week suspension, man. A brother spit on a brother, man. Take his bag, throw it in the harbor. Throw up curses on the brother. That brother has to go, man. So some things get escalated like that. You know, so some things are case by case basis.
Con. All praise to the Most High. If anybody has any questions, right, follow the chain of command, right? And brothers in leadership, you should be able to get into the box app and see the chain of command if you don't understand or know who's over top of you, right? Don't fall upon your sword and overthrow yourself in bashfulness by not asking questions, right? To segue into the judgments, right? I believe Kasaya updated it within the box app, but I'm gonna send it over to the leadership chat so that you can send over to your respective cities the judgments that have been set in place. So, like, let me go to it. The mighty scribes went to it. Right. I'm gonna send it in here first to make sure everybody can see it. Oh, Thawam said he put it in the folder. All right. So the brother said he put it within the folder, and I think Kasaya did as well. But these are WFI judgments, right? As the body grows, right, there's certain men who may creep in unawares. They may go through the prospect program, and the true nature of man that they are doesn't show out until, the time permitted that the Most High has it revealed, right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6. It started verse number 1. So all these judgments that are in place that we came up through the Spirit with, we've seen within the body, right? We've dealt with it numerous times, right? We came together, we set up judgments that are universal, so there's no ifs, ands, or buts, murmurings, questions, anything that can lead to confusion, right? It's in black and white so everybody can see it, they can understand it, and it's extremely severe and serious, right? Let's bring that out, King.
All right. The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse number 1. We then, as workers together with him, beseech you also that you receive not the grace of God in vain.
Right. So we don't receive this grace of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua in vain, meaning it means nothing. Right. Let the old man creep up Sunday through Thursday, but Friday and Saturday, you more righteous than Yahushua. Right. You perfect. Can't do no wrong. Right. We can't receive this grace in vain. Right. Keep going, King.
For he saith, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I secured thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation.
Right.
Giving no offense in anything, that the ministry be not blamed.
So this is for us to give no offense in anything, right? From greatest to smallest, jot or tittle, that the ministry be not blamed, right? As we always say, we represent three things in this truth. First and foremost, you represent Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Secondly, you represent all Israel. Thirdly, you represent watchmen for Israel, right? If you come short in anything, right, you out and about, you get too drunk and you get into a fight and now you on a World Star, right? You just shame the brothers who put their life on the line to magnify the name of the Lord, right? So these judgments are extremely important. We're not doing this to look to kick brothers out, right? We're not putting this forth to make brothers' lives a living hell. We're doing this to make sure that no offense is given in the ministry, right? One more precept, Ephesians chapter 5, right? And start at verse number 9.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 9. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth,
right?
Proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
Right. So we're supposed to have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. Right. Being unfruitful is a tree that just is a tree. Right. It's just sitting there to take up space. Right. You don't plant an apple tree and don't expect to get an increase from it. Right. You don't plant a lemon tree or plant vineyards. Right. So these works of darkness are unfruitful and they bring forth mold. Right, you put a rotten strawberry next to another rotten strawberry, what's going to happen to the fresh strawberry? It's going to get rotten, it's going to mold, and it's going to happen over and over and over. So these judgments are to remove those rotten strawberries and those rotten apples. Lord forbid we have to deal with these at all, but we're going to go over it so everybody understands, right? And they know the severity, and they know that there's no ifs, ands, or buts when it comes down to it, right? Not to be long-winded or, try to go through it pretty quickly. And again, if there's any questions, ask the head of the camp, and if he has any questions, he can go up the chain of command. Right. So these are the judgments. Right. Sexual immorality. Right. Every man and watchman for Israel should know how to keep his vessel in subjection. Right. You're not thinking with the head below your waist, man. We're using the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Most High has given us. Right. And it's dangerous out here, man. It's a dangerous world. Right. You catch a disease, you bring it home. Right. An incurable disease. Right. These are the things that we're trying to make sure that we don't bring amongst the body. Right. So prostitution. First offense. Right. You're given an 8 to 12 month removal from the body, no exceptions. Right. Pending approval to come back. So if we find out that you've been dealing with prostitutes, you are removed upon the council for 8 to 12 months. And if those 12 months we feel fit to not bring you back, then so be it through the Spirit. Second,
It's like you, because I mean, these are real life matters that have happened. A brother might say, you have a follow-up counsel with the brother, and the brother say, you know what, I'm still trying to get myself together. Right, I just had another prostitute, right, last Thursday, Salakia, right, and brothers, want to try to bring the brother back, help the brother out. The brother said, I'm still dealing with it. So although the brother, like he's saying, could have had the opportunity to come back, it all depends on your spirit, huh? Or brother, he's zealous. I'm ready. I ain't deal with this. I'm on fire. Like the Lord said, godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of. And it worked the spirit of revenge in that brother not to do that same act.
God, absolutely. And the Most High said, what's done in the dark shall always come to light. Right? You think you may have got away with it. Right? You out $400 because you was lusting and burning. The Most High is going to reveal that, whether it be to one of us, one of the soldiers, and you do not want to be a partaker in another man's sins by not bringing it forth. Right? That's Leviticus, the 5th chapter. Right? Second offense. Right? Removal from the body with no opportunity of return. Right? So you only get one chance to screw up. And we're not telling brothers to screw up at all. But that one chance, and if you are seen worthy or acceptable to come back and you do it again, there's no chance of returning back to the body. right? Sodomy, immediate expulsion, no exceptions, right? Lord forbid we have to deal with that, right? But there's a case, right? This is all Watchmen for Israel. Is a brother who was in the GMS camp years ago, right? The brother started waxing worse, right? And he ended up marrying what they call a transsexual unicorn, right? And that's his man woman to this day. So, these things do happen. So if sodomy is found out to be amongst men in the camp, you will be removed immediately. Right.
Yeah, that's lucky. That includes the physical act, but also you got, brothers, they on the internet, you get caught up in there and you got a privacy screen, brother walked up on you and Salaki, and that's all of that. Right? All of that.
God. Whoremongering. Right, whoremongering. It's a serious thing going on in Israel. Men going from city to city, camp to camp, multiplying wives to themselves, man. So the first offense of whoremongering, 8 to 12 months removal, pending approval to come back. So if a man can't possess his vessel and he goes out, he's sleeping with women, you're removed from the body. Right? We're not having any whoremongering spirits in the camp. We're not dealing with lasciviousness, that spirit just going to and fro, man, because it'll hop off on brothers. Next thing you know, you got a camp full of adulterers, a camp full of freaks. We're not going to allow that amongst the body because we have women and children here as well. Second offense, removal without opportunity to return, right? Adultery, immediate expulsion, no ifs, ands, or buts, right? No ifs, ands, or buts. We don't need to go deep into that. Adultery, you're gone. Pedophilia, immediate expulsion, right? We don't need to go deep into that, right? No ifs, ands, or buts, right? The next subcategory is abuse and domestic violence, right? A heavy spirit going on throughout the earth of mental abuse, physical abuse, things going on behind closed doors. And again, what's done in the dark is going to come to light, right? You can hide from our eyes. We're men, right? We have our own faults that we got to deal with, but you can't hide from the eyes of the Lord, right? And the Lord will reveal that wickedness in due season, right? Domestic violence, immediate expulsion upon counsel. Keep your damn hands to yourself, man. Men should not be punching their wives around, smacking their wives around, throwing them down the steps, right? We had a counsel that we did some time ago. The brother's wife said that he pushed her from the back, from behind. And we said, well, why would you do that? He said it wasn't a hard push, but she could have fell and hit her head, right? Everybody's seen that movie, He Got Game, right, with Ray Allen and Denzel Washington. He mad at his son. He throw his arm up. His wife fall and hit her head, and she died. He in prison. Anything is liable to happen. Keep your hands to yourself. Men, if you have a problem with anger, seek counsel. If you feel like it's getting to that extent, get out of the house. But do not put your hands on your wife.
The brother said I had to put her down. It is what it is. Right? He said I had to put her down. And this, it's sad, man. We had to remove, I think, within the last year, at least 4 brothers for domestic violence. Sisters sending pictures to our wives and other sisters and brothers about with a black eye, a busted up lip, man. And you gotta go, man. You gotta go. Well, I had too much. Brother said I had too much to drink. Right? I was hanging around my worldly friends at the bar, and I came home and she was yapping off at the mouth. Right? That's wickedness, man. So these events don't just happen because we, like the brother said, let's figure out how to get brothers out the camp. No, we want to protect brothers, our wives, and our children. It's like the brother said, it's a zero tolerance policy.
Infidel, right? Somebody who forsakes their family. You have children. You don't want to be a man and man up and take care of the responsibilities. That's a 3-month removal from the body upon counsel. And there will be a counsel to see if you should come back and if things are getting back in order, right? We have no infidels in the body, right? That's the fruit of your labor, your children, your wife, right? Your household, right? Husbandry is something that every man should want to do. We're put on this earth to be fruitful and multiply and be hedges over our household. So if you're not taking care of your family, it's a 3-month removal upon counsel. Emotional abuse, right? And that's another one. Jake is real cunning, manipulative, right? And just a damn demon in the house, right? Telling your wife she nothing, she fat, and the Lord gonna destroy you because I hate you. Whatever you saying, right? Emotional abuse, and it's brought up to leadership. First offense is a counsel, right? We'll exhort you. We'll try to get things in order. We'll chastise you on the counsel, right? Put things into perspective. Second offense, 4 to 7 months removal, right? Say you don't care and you go back home and you're doing the same thing. That's 4 to 7 months of being removed, right? Third offense, 9 to 12-month removal with an option of permanent expulsion, right? So if this just continues to happen and you can't treat your wife as your own flesh, right? And you just hate yourself because you hate your wife, right? We got to get you out of here, man. We got not just for our sake, but because that spirit can move throughout the body, right? You get word that Gabar is mad at his wife all the time, then you go home and you mad at your wife all the time, right? That spirit of travel, right? Satan's going to and fro, seeing whom he can devour, right? House out of order. 1 week suspension pending approval from ranking officer, right? If all hell is breaking loose in your house and we getting word, right, we're going to tell you, take this week, right, get your house in order, do what you got to do. We've done that plenty of times, man, right? We told brothers, go get your house in order, man. Don't have a hypocrisy spirit out here. You're trying to tell people to get in order and your house is out of order. Second offense, 3 to 5 week suspension, right? Pending approval from ranking officer, right? Say you didn't take the opportunity seriously, right? We're going to tell you take another 3 to 5 weeks and do what you got to do, man. And it'll continue until you get things back in order, man. The Lord is not the author of confusion, right? So there should be no confusion in households and out of orderness, right? Marijuana, right? Weed. First offense, 3 months suspension, right? You out of here for 3 months. There's any type of smoking, right? Any type of smoking. 3 months suspension. Second offense, 9 to 12 months suspension. Third offense, removal from the body, right? Violence in the body, immediate removal. Like the brother said, a brother spit on somebody, punch him. What you say? I'm about to destroy y'all, right? We hear anything
So
of
I'm
violence
about to
in the
slam
body.
you on your neck.
Yeah. We had a brother say he's going to slam another brother on his neck.
New moon too.
New moon, right? We not allowing this, man. Right? We are our brother's keeper. Again, these aren't just things that we thought of at 10 o'clock at night sitting down, man. We've dealt with every situation on here. AWOL, absent without leave. No call, no show. First offense, 3 weeks suspension, and 3 weeks taking notes if a soldier. Right? If you just don't show up because you ain't feel like coming out there, right? You 3 weeks suspended, you gotta do 3 weeks of taking notes. The brother said on Passover, brother said he's gonna slam a brother on his neck. Sheesh. Second offense of AWOL, no call, no show. 3 months suspension and a demotion. Restart the prospect program. If you just disappear and brothers haven't heard from you, then you pop out like nothing happened, right? You a stranger. We got to learn you all over again, right? Third offense, removal with no chance of return, right? Shows you don't care about your brother. The brother's well-beings don't matter to you, so no reason to be around, right? All other offenses not specified will be evaluated and judgment lists will be updated as new issues emerge, right? So there's things that our mind doesn't conjure up a whole bunch of wickedness and think of things that can happen, but stuff happens in the spirit and in the flesh, shall I say, and we have to place new judgments because we never would have thought it would happen, but this will be updated, right? And I don't see, do any brothers in this classroom have any problem with those lists? It seems straightforward, so if playing upon tables. So if any of these is seen or brought forth with your name, you'll be brought to immediate account. And there's no question of how the judgment shall be. We've already went through it. WFI as a body demands unwavering obedience from every brother in leadership and rank alike. These standards are not suggestions, they are law within this body. The vow grafted into is sacred and must be upheld without compromise. Any deviation invites judgment. It is our responsibility to correct discipline and remove where necessary, ensuring that no member brings shame, corruption, or disorder upon this body or falls by their own sword. Right? So it's our job as your brethren to make sure that the next brother next to you isn't a wicked deviant, and that you're not a wicked deviant, and that you're doing what you ought to be doing. Right? So that's clear as day, clear, no questions should be asked upon that. Right? Secondly, we have the sister prospect guidelines. Right? And this is universal. Right? This is universal amongst all camps. So all camps are going to institute this when new sisters want to join the body, as when new brothers want to join the body, we have the prospect program, right? So the sister prospect guidelines. I believe Kasadia just put it in there as well. So this is for the sisters who come out, they're new, they're trying to find out, if this is the congregation they want to be a part of. Let me get one quick precept. I'm not trying to be long-winded with it. Let's go to Acts chapter 9. Let's start at verse 35.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 9, and verse number 35. And it reads, and all that dwelt at Lydia and Saron saw him and turned to the Lord. Now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds, which she did.
Right. So the sister Tabitha, she was full of good works with alms and deeds. Right. She put her hand to the plow. And that's how we want all sisters who are part of the body. No brother should have their wife here and she's not helping with the ministry. Right. No brother should bring his wife around and she's just sitting around and she's not getting up, putting forth her hand. We wouldn't allow brothers to do that. Right? And you are the head of your household, right? You should have your wife putting in work as well. Secondly, any sister who does want to come around, she has to follow suit. It's not just I'm just here to eat and see what's going on and spy on liberty to leave, right? So we're gonna run through this quick, and does this apply to sisters? Now, Kapash, this is going into the camp guidelines, but these are sister guidelines as well, right? These are pretty standard that every sister should follow to. No disrespect will be tolerated within the camp. No disrupting other sisters in the midst of their speech, right? This is going in the same fashion as the camp guidelines, right? We learn out the KJV 16 only, no other books. So we're not bringing in Josephus, or well, not Josephus, Book of Enoch, right? Things of that nature, right? If any of that is being heard, it'll be an immediate counsel. No bringing food until you have completed the prospect program, right? So sisters, they cook food for the new moons and the feast days. If that sister has not completed the prospect program, right, the 12-week prospect program, right, it has been brought forth into the body, she cannot bring food, right? We say she can't bring food because we're still proving her. It's a crazy world out here, right? A sister and put some bleach in some food, right? She just sitting there smiling while people eating it, so she cannot bring food until after the prospect program. Bringing any other doctrine to WFI outside of what the body teaches is terms to be exiled from the camp, right? Going around teaching Moab is really the tribe of Ephraim or whatever it may be. Women can wear pants. You will be removed from the camp, right? Or from the prospect program. No cleavage, no tight skirts, no skirts above the knees are allowed to be worn at all. Also, no skirts with thigh-high slits. None of your underwear must be seen. Right? Women, be modest. Right? Don't be in here. Don't let women around with their cleavage out. Seducing brothers. Right? Women are commanded to be modest, and modest they shall be when they come to the congregation. Right? Brothers' wives too. Don't have your wives out here looking whorish. Right? Have a brother looking your wife up and down because you didn't feel fit to tell her not to wear that. Right? Oh, you got it, King. You about to say something? All right. Sisters must remain silent in the school and or at camp, right? So no just loud murmur. We had that at the first school. Sisters would come and they be talking loud, right? Loud, just loud, right? We have to tell other sisters to tell them they got to keep it down, right? So that's order. No talking in the camp, at school. No being around a crowd of brothers, right? No sister should be in the midst of 5 brethren having a conversation, right? It's out of order. It's off, man. No one is allowed to go to the bathroom by themselves at camp, right? A sister must accompany another sister, at least 3 sisters, to the bathroom, right? It's a crazy world. People are watching, waiting for a sister to walk by themselves and do whatever the hell they want to do. So to avoid any evil befalling, we want to make sure that sisters are walking to the bathroom together. And generally, we have a brother who walks with them. Every day you come to the school or the camp, you must sign into the book to make sure that you've been noted that you've been there that week. You need to be a part of the camp for 8 months before you start courting a brother in the camp. And before entering to any camp group chats, you body for at least 8 months, right? So no courting, no secretly texting brothers, right? Brothers, have some discipline, man. Don't get the sister number behind brothers' backs. Again, everything's going to be brought to light eventually. So no sister who is just joining the body can talk, join group chats until after the 8 months. So she's thoroughly been vetted and proven. Okay.
Yeah, because you have a lot of sisters, they'll go from camp to camp to camp. Or a new sister, she just got her eyes set on the brother. So she came into the camp to get with the brother Nashaya. I'm just I'm using the brother as an example. She'll feign herself, but her whole agenda, like the Lord said, an adulteress will hunt for the precious life. So women are very methodical, right? About who they want to be with and things like that, man. And they plan in advance. They'll leave a marriage in advance. They'll get, so you have to make sure that her focus too is learning the word of the Most High, learning these scriptures and learning how to be a virtuous woman and not just coming in and saying, oh, that's not Sha'aya, that's the mighty recorder, X, Y, and Z. So make sure you brothers hold these sisters accountable too, man.
Number 11. If you have any questions concerning scriptures, please ask your husband at home, right? Everybody knows that. If unmarried, right, please ask the proper leadership, right? And a lot of scriptural questions that sisters may have are just an open conversation, right? Can you break down who the 12 feathers are? Right? Come on now, right? Sisters should be learning, sisterly duties and things that are beautiful to wives and mothers and so on and so forth, right? So any questions, you have elder sisters who've been in the camp longer, should have a good rapport with them, build a good rapport with them, right? That's something that we want to implement in all camps, a strong sisterhood, how we have a strong brotherhood, right? That's a good balance right there that we should, push forth. When the Sabbath is over, sisters must clean, set up for the next Sabbath service, right? Well, it's subject to the city, but if there's a feast day or something and you rent out a venue, right? Sisters should also help clean up as well, and sisters should help set up in advance the feast day, right? Those are good sisterly and womanly works to be done. Number 13, sisters must attend Thursday night calls via Zoom, right? Take notes and send to proper leadership. Now, if a brother's wife is married and they have stuff going on and it conflicts with the sister call, that's something different. But they do the sister calls Thursday at 7:30, right? Get to know the sisters in the other camps, in the WFI camps, where I think it's generally like 60 sisters on those calls, right? So prospecting sisters should get on there, introduce themselves, get built up through the spirit. Number 14, sisters are not allowed to come to the camp or to school if they are on their flower, right? No unclean sisters into the house of the Lord, right? And we make exception for a major feast like Passover. We set aside a table for sisters who may be unclean because you have to keep the Passover or Pentecost, right? Keep them separated. So there's no unclean sisters allowed in the school, right? Take the week off and then, come back the next week. The whole Watchman for Israel, it says sister's body, but this is in the prospect guidelines and the guidelines is required to fast at least once a week, either by yourself or you can do it with other sisters for keeping a clean spirit and purging out leaven, right? So these are the judgments and the guidelines that are being set forth, and we're going to make sure that everything is done decently in order. There's no questions, and if you do have questions, ask the respected leader of the camp, right?
God, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let me get the mighty book of Colossians, right? Colossians chapter 2 and verse number 5. So most High willing, man, brothers are taking note through the spirit and really laying this wholeheartedly to their heart. Bring that out.
Guys, it's the book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse number 5. For though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit.
And we all should have this mindset. Right, this isn't just guidelines that Detroit has or guidelines that Baltimore has, and we're all in confusion. Everybody's mind should be tied to the same spirit. Right, read that again.
For though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit.
Right, with judgment, with knowledge, with wisdom, with understanding. Right, read.
Joying and beholding your order and the steadfastness of your faith.
Beholding your order, man. That's what the Apostle Paul said through the Spirit. So though we're absent, we're still beholding things that are weightier, and we can still judge through the Spirit. Right? Let me get one more saying the same thing. 1 Corinthians 5 and 3.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, and verse number 3. For I verily, as absent in the body, but present in spirit, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that have so done this deed.
Right, and don't be ignorant that everybody has a name. Right, Detroit may have a name. You understand? Atlanta may have a name. Baltimore has a name. Whether that name be good or bad, you have to weigh that in the balance, man. Everybody has a name. Your name could be good works, on time, prophecy, doing the will of the Most High. They're on fire. They're always traveling. Or your name could be you never travel. You're always in councils. Somebody's always leaving your camp. Something's always happening through the spirit. So you want to be wise and prudent over your name and understanding how judgment happens. Right? Read that last part again, King.
God. It reads, for verily, as absent in the body, but present in the spirit, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that have so done this deed.
And you want to have a good name in the last days, man. Right? And walk in the spirit and knowledge of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let's go to the first one. This is Watchman for Israel, military etiquette. Right? Watchman for Israel, military etiquette. It's a lot of brothers that just became soldiers. It's a lot of brothers that are already soldiers. It's a lot of brothers that may be forgetting how serious it is to hold down structure and rank and etiquette in the military army. Let's go to the first one. It says, understand and comply with the order of the camp, ranking and order, and no side conversations. So when it says understand and comply, we might have to march a mile, man. If a brother is in full health, he can't say, I don't like that, man. I'm taking this scooter. You know what? I'll drive and I'll meet y'all down there, man. You can't break rank and do what you want to do because you feel like it, man. You may have to march a half an hour. You may have to march 2 or 3 blocks. Whatever the case may be, you have to understand and comply with the order, man. We may have to leave because brothers foresee evil. We have to pack up and we have to go down the street. You understand? We may be foreseeing something that brothers may not be knowledgeable about. Brothers may have just talked to the cops. They said, well, if XYZ happens again, brothers will be locked up or some unforeseen evils. Or there's a masked man or it's a robbery down the street. Brothers go to the side many of times and talk to the police on matters. Just because you're not understanding or knowledgeable about what's going on, don't mean you just break rank just because you feel like it, man. You know what? We're just going to stay, man. We're going to fight the police. Everybody stream con, right? And then you break rank, you get off of the line, and all hell start breaking loose, man. You have to keep rank. The rank is very, very, very important, man. Not just to yourself, but for the well-being of the next brother to you. You breaking rank can have all of the brothers locked up. You breaking rank can have the Most High overthrow the camp, right? It says, and no side conversations. So if brothers do want to talk, you could go off to the side. A brother shouldn't be going down the sincere milk of the word, breaking it down, and he is sitting up there distracting the brother. He keeps looking back. You throwing the spirit off, man. Brother could be breaking down prophecy, right? He could be going into whatever the spirit of the Most High has him in, and then you just hearing speech in the background. It's overthrowing, it's throwing the spirit off, man. Now you telling the brother, hey, Salakia, Ak, y'all live. This is out of order, man. Everybody got to hold it down. And if you do want to talk, go to the side. Go off the camera. Make sure that you're not overthrowing the lesson in the spirit of the Most High. Right, the next one. Show up to war on time and armed with Bible, Apocrypha, and necessary information to profit the ministry, man. Right? Don't show up, an hour late. And after showing up an hour late, you don't have any Bible. You have no Apocrypha. You stumble in and you stay in the back. A lot of brothers, they show up late, right? You really should be on the other side, man. Have some integrity, man. Pick up the brother that's reading. You should relieve him of his duty reading. Come in, read, put your hand to the plow, man. Don't go stand in the back and disappear and laugh and joke in the background, man. You the brother that's always on camera in the background. You never reading unless you're asked to. Don't have that mentality, man. Show up prepared. Be armed with an Apocrypha. Be armed with the 1611, whatever the case may be, KJV. Be armed with waters or whatever the case may be. You can help brothers through the spirit. You may have different books that help the ministry and validate the scriptures going into history. If you have those things, bring those things, man. Be an asset to the congregation. And don't be a standing still man that has to be told to lift his arm, shift your leg this way. Okay, stand this way. You should be looking and watching how camp is ran so that it shouldn't be so shocking what brothers are expecting brothers to do, right? So you have show up the war on time, right? And everything necessary for the ministry. The next one, number 3, stay fervent at camp by always staying occupied, holding camp signs, holding posts, passing out flyers, recording, and fishing, man. And this is sad that we even have to put this as a guideline. Brothers should, what are you coming to camp for, man? What else are you here for? If you're not passing out flyers, teaching, reading, holding posts, or doing something to teach and benefit the word of the Lord, you got to ask yourself, why am I here, man? What am I doing here, man? What's the point of me coming to set my hand to the plow if I'm not working? A plow is ancient terminology of work. To set your hand to it and push, right, via the hand of an ass or an ox. If you're not setting your hand to it to work, that's out of order, man. The Lord said that, let me get this quick precept in Sirach 7:15, real quick. So, these guidelines are predicated off of wisdom, of experiences that brothers have went through, and the precepts.
Sirach 7 and verse 15. Hate not laborer's work.
Right, hate not laborer's work, man. It's hard to get an army together. It's hard in the cold. It's hard when the temperatures are below freezing, man. When nobody's out there. One of my favorite camps through the spirit, right? It was a brother that's no longer in the camp. It was me and Naquan. I don't remember. Was it a blizzard or something? But it was nobody else at camp. It may have been an overtime camp. I don't remember. It was years and years and years ago. It was damn near a blizzard when nobody at camp, when nobody to damn teach, and we was shaking their hand with so much zeal and love and compassion for the word, man. And it was documented by the angels. And you do this out of sincerity, man. You don't do this for views. You don't do this for accolades. You don't do this for any other reason but to magnify our Father which is in heaven, man. Right? The Lord said, hate not laborer's work. You should love to set your hand to the plow. Right, Vidor?
Neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained.
The Most High ordained this, man. See, if the Most High wanted things easy, it wouldn't take a seed. It wouldn't take soil. It wouldn't take finching and beating and watering. It wouldn't take all of this work to get the increase. The Most High has set it up that way, right? Now, it says, stay fervent at camp. It shouldn't be when the first speaker speaks, everybody's zealous and on fire, but when a brother is closing out and it's the last speaker, everybody joking, man. They putting in their order because the sun went down. What you about to eat? I don't know. Where we going to go, man? Right? What you want to do? Everybody talking about the food they're going to eat, the drink they're going to consume, man. Right? What's the spot after camp? Everybody laughing and joking and taking pictures. You want FaceTime with your woman? 30 minutes out. Right?
Salaki, this was a few years ago. It was a spot at the harbor called Johnny Rockets. Right? Brothers used to leave when the sun went down, go get burgers and fries while we still holding camp and eat the burgers and fries while we still holding camp. Just standing there.
Sit, and they would sit on the steps. Burger patty falling out. You want some, right? Yeah, oil dripping out the bag, and right. What precept was that? I gotta remember that one, right? Causing confusion. It was like a damn shift. One brother come back get a burger, the next brother out. Like they tag team slap like it's a damn a race, man. He passes the baton, right? So going through it, it says stay fervent the whole time at camp, man. Camp may run 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, depending on the spirit, sometimes 8 hours. Right? So you got to be fervent the whole time at camp, man. And chiefly, you should come to camp to magnify the name of the Lord, but also to hear the word of God. I love hearing brothers teach, man. A lot of the times, if I'm at camp and it's a unity camp, I'm watching the teacher most of the time if I'm not setting up order, man. Because it's something that brother could teach me. It's a precept that he may be going into that I could dive into and add to my journal, man. So you want to always be in student mode, be a disciple at all times, and stay fervent in the spirit, right? It says, staying occupied, holding signs, holding posts, passing out flyers, recording, and fishing, right? Next one. No being on your phone at camp and drifting off, right, and slouching, right? Again, these are semi the same things, but you don't want to be at camp, right, and you're checking your FanDuel, man, your FanDuel score. I almost hit, man. Right, I'm 2 legs out. Right, here you are, the brother's going into it. He said, I need another reader. You out there on your phone checking God knows what, man. Right, and then it's hurting the ministry. You want to be fervent at camp all the time. You won't be a slouch. Now, we understand that brothers have infirmities. Brothers have leg problems, ankle problems, back problems. Brothers have different sicknesses and ailments. We understand that, and that's okay. The brothers encourage brothers not to be over righteous because there's enough strength in the army of arms to hold down the office if need be. But if you're just slouching off, sitting down, that's off, man. Brothers, I mean, brother needs something and you're not there because you're off taking a 40-minute bathroom break and you're off on your phone. That's off, man. It says, read that again. It says, Salakia, being fervent, no being on your phone at camp or drifting off or slouching. That's self-explanatory. No spitting, flatulence, just step to the side. Right? Again, a lot of these should be common sense, man. It should be very, very, very easy to do. Brothers aren't asking brothers something ridiculous. This is very easy to do, right? We look at this as a sanctuary, the temple. Now, in the temple, you don't want to be spitting. You don't want flagellants. You sitting up there, you being an immature kid, man. Just letting loose, laughing and giggling, man. Like this is a damn game, man. Hit a brother going into a weightier matter, and here you are going off. It's off. Step to the side, man. Have some type of common sense through the spirit. Right. Good behavior, man. You said what? Yeah, etiquette, man. So there's no eating in camp. Wait till afterwards. Right. Again, we're putting this up because we had certain brothers in the past, like we just went into, that did that. They went off, they couldn't wait. And we normally labor together and then we eat together. A lot of brothers after camp, they may go to Ruby Tuesdays, Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever the case may be, may hit a bar, whatever the case may be, get some wings. They eat together, they labor together, man. You don't want a brother full. Yeah, I'm just about to go home. I'm good. Everybody out about to have a good time, and you full, man. That's out of order, right? It says no eating. Wait till afterwards, right? Unless you got some type of sickness and illness where you need to, take care of yourself, that should high holy be, applied through the spirit. When one brother leaves position, he must be immediately replaced by a brother. You don't want to have, 5 brothers on the line. One brother leaves to use the bathroom, my other brother gets a phone call, whatever the case may be, and brothers are just in the back hanging around, man. Or if that brother that's fishing, he perceives something through the spirit, and even leadership, man. Whatever the case may be, there's no man that's higher than the other doing this work, man. Everybody got to set their hand to the plow, no matter what position, if it needs to be done in the Most High's army. So if you perceive something that needs to be done post, it's a big vacant open space, man, and you're sitting up there hanging out, a brother go fill that space, man, for a brother breach and overthrow. It's been a lot of times, I can't even count at camp, where kids will run. It'll be somebody, about to throw away trash. We'll be like, hey, brother, come hear the words of the Lord. The brother try to come on the other side. And he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't necessarily mean malicious behavior, but you got to watch, man. We got our valuables behind it. Sometimes we bring our children to camp. So you want to make sure that it's barricaded with all costs through the spirit, man. And if anybody, removes, immediately it needs to be taken serious, right? It says no sweatpants, gum, open-toe shoes, and lounging at camp, right? So, this is war. Nobody's going to take you serious if you got flip-flops on, man, and some shorts. And you're talking about the Lord as a man of war, man. Right? Yahweh is his name. Right? Nobody's going to take you serious, man. You want to make sure that you're amped up, right, in military warfare, man. Whether brother got a garment, whether brother have his WFI shirt, his WFI, a hoodie, whatever the case may be. Brothers got meat trees, or brothers got all type of things, man, in war. Make sure that you're girded up, man. You don't want to be, just sitting out, and God forbid, just sweatpants on. It seems lazy, doesn't seem serious, it's not organized, and it's hard to take that brother or that sister serious, man. Right? Or any matter. Right? It says no sweatpants, gum. Right? You sitting up there teaching, you got gum in your mouth, it's hard to, hear. Open toe shoes and lounging at camp. Right? 8, it says be circumspect, vigilant, sober, understanding the cadence and the directional ordinance at camp, right? And it's a lot of times, what the Lord say, and then a brother will pick up off the last word, and then a brother will pick off out the beginning of the precept. So make sure that you're in cadence with the camp. That's going to throw the spirit off, man. Here you are fighting a level 10 demon, and he's saying something that's trying to overthrow the ministry and the work of the Lord, and you're helping him, man. You're sitting up there throwing the spirit off. This is warfare. What the Lord said he's a man, he shall not lie, man. And we're going into it, man. It's going to chop down that spirit, and that demon is going to magnify the name of the Lord. So make sure that you're in that cadence, man. Whether brothers are chanting in war, right? Whether brothers are going through the precepts, or whatever type of order is going on, make sure that your mind is with the cadence, being one body, man. Right? It says number 9, no leaving camp early for vanity. No weapons at camp. No leaving early, because it's a concert. No leaving early because you and your wife got plans and dinner. No leaving early. Now, we do have emergencies that happen. God forbid that these things actually come to pass. But I mean, something could be going on with your wife, your children, or whatever the case may be. You want to be a man and man up and take care of your family. But if it's just folly and ignorance and vanity and you're leaving early, you just want to make sure, you beat traffic, man. Right? That's out of order. You want to labor to the beginning, being on time. You want to labor to the end. When again, these are self-explanatory and easy to be able to keep. And no weapons at camp, man. Anything can happen. The Lord could put a spirit on you, and you whip out a knife, man. Here you are, the brother is saying something off. Instead of going to the precepts, you whip out a sword, man, a switchblade, or a machete, a bat, or some type of instrument to strike somebody, man. The Lord will overthrow you, man. Don't think just because you got fringes on, the name of the Lord, you won't get overthrown. It was brothers in the, they're not in the camp anymore. They went off. They had a spirit that was not in wisdom and prudence, right? He tried to pepper spray an Edomite, right? Now, what did the Lord do? The Lord had the wind shoot right back at him and blind him. Now this brother's blind, trying to figure out what's going on, and Esau's beating him, huh? You can't make this up. Now, I mean, I've never held pepper spray or shot it, but, from my understanding of what I think, I could be completely wrong. I thought it jabs out. Like, I could be wrong, man. It shoots out. From my understanding, I could be wrong. That must have been a strong east wind. And the Most High, right back in the brother's eyes, he blinded him. And, the rest, we don't want to speak about. But when you're fighting in order, you can't lose, man. Name a time where the men of the Lord lost, man. That was in order. That was in rank. That was in the spirit, man. That held it down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Name a time where we got confounded, overthrown, man. Humbly speaking, all the times we've been on the highways and byways, nothing happened to the men of the Lord. Because all of the decisions were weighed in the balance through prudence and patience, not valiant strength, just to show your bruteness, man, as being a man. It's not important. What's important is being in order, man, and keeping rank, right? And only fighting when you have to, if it ever comes to that, right? It says, read that last part again, no weapons, man, right? No guns, no pepper spray, no knives. We're protected by the holy angels. And don't ever forget that, right? And we're protected through the spirit of Psalms 144:1, man. Right? And I wouldn't let nothing happen to anybody in this room, man. Long as I'm alive through the spirit. So always keep in mind, you got the Most High, while Yahweh Shai, you got the holy angels, and you got a multitude of brothers, man, that love you and have your back. There's no need for you to go out the way in a whim to move in your own understanding, right? Number 10, right? It says, present your bodies as a living sacrifice for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now, it is going to be times where, a brother may be approaching a sickness. He may, wiping his nose, blowing it. Brother, if you can still have the strength to go out there and labor, go out there and labor, man. Your back may be hurting, your ankle may be swollen, or whatever the case may be. As much as you can, put your hand to the plow and try to work, man. Make your body a living sacrifice. We all hurt. We're all sick. We're all tired, man. You're not the only one that worked a 10-hour shift this week, 12-hour shift this week. Not the only one that has over 2 or 3 kids. Not the only one that, has a wife. Not the only one that, has bills due. So make sure you put all of that on the back burner and you make yourself a living sacrifice for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Come.
God, all praises, and honor, glory to the Most High God. I'm going to segue next, right, to the Watch for Israel prospect guidelines. Right, and as brothers had touched on, right, the prospect guidelines are being revamped as well. And I'll touch on a few revamps that we also have for the prospect program. Let's start with the book of Ezra, chapter 3 and verse number 10. Being a part, or being in this camp, for over 8 years, the prospect program has been extremely, near and dear unto me through the spirit, because it's the foundation thereof, man. Right? It's it's the inception of your work ethic, right? How you conduct yourself in the prospect program generally translates to how you're going to be as a soldier, right? How you're going to be as a lieutenant, an officer, right? And so on and so on, and even an office that you have within the body. And also being a prospect, man, brothers charge you, right? And brothers lay a solid foundation for you, man. Coming up, myself, Naquam, Amos, Araya, brothers, man, we got it out the mud, man. We brothers studied and read, did their own thing, and then we just showed up to camp, man. Held it down. There was no breakdowns. There was no quizzes. There was nothing that was spoon fed or given to us, man. So for brothers that's coming to this prospect program, man, it's extremely serious, man. It's something that's extremely, that's near and dear to brothers, man. That's been there from since the beginning. Then brothers, we started to give another quizzes. Then we started, having brothers that were trying to improve it, man. Brothers coming out, for about 5 weeks or 7 weeks total, man. Right, so it been about 5 weeks of taking notes, man. Right, then brothers 5 weeks on the line, and brothers being in, now you're in the camp. Right, 7 weeks, right, 7 weeks, 14 weeks, and now to where we are at currently as it states a 32-week program. Right, so roughly around an 8-month program. Given a space or buffer, between the time that it may take a brother to finish his final. Right, but the prospect program is extremely important, and it's came a long way, man. And it's also tried and proven, brothers, man. Right, because if you can't go through, simple, simple being led, being having your hand held, man, right, by having lessons that's made for you, man. Only having to show up, and follow rank, structure, and order, man. If you can't follow things on a small or micro level, how can brothers trust you to handle and do things on a macro level, right? A bigger scale, right? So let's start with the book of Ezra 3 and verse number 10.
It's the book of Ezra, chapter 3 and verse number 10. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Lord, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites and the sons of Asaph with cymbals, to praise the Lord after the ordinance of David, king of Israel.
Right, Con. So just how in the ancient world, man, right? You have men that laid the foundation, right? And prospects, essentially are that foundation, man. Because you brothers are the next soldiers. You brothers are the next officers. You brothers are the next lieutenants, man. You brothers are the groundwork of what it means to endure and to be a partaker of this body, man. Right, read on.
And they sang together by chorus and praising and giving thanks unto the Lord, because he is good, for his mercy endured forever toward Israel. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid.
Right, come, man. Brothers also give a great shout, man, and rejoice, man. We commend brothers, man. Brothers, they receive certificates, right, for their time and length, man, right, of in doing the program, man. Right, because again, it's just like being right the Marine Corps, right, the Army, right, the Navy, the Air Force. Hey, and not everyone is able to make it through boot camp, man. Not everyone is able to make, to earn that EGA, right, to earn that ribbon, that medal. But for brothers, man, that's able to endure, man, those weeks, man, be consistent, be on fire, man, right, and truly or have their mind and spirit, man, on serving the Lord, man, right, and also being in order. Hey, that's a beautiful thing, man, right, and brothers rejoice with great joy, right, for Akim that are able to complete that. One more, the book of Psalm, chapter 144 and verse, I believe I want to start verse number 11.
Psalms, chapter 144 and verse number 11. rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood.
Right, come, man. Right, so as brothers I touched on in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, man. Right, the Most High is raising up and exceeding a great army, man. Right, and as brothers come into this truth, and we rid our people and take them out of the hands of strange gods. Right, rid and take them out of this world, man. Right, to bring them into this truth. Right, read on.
That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, and that our daughters may be as cornerstones polished after the similitude of a palace.
Right, come, man. Right, our sons and daughters, man. Right, are cornerstones, man. Right, and as brothers come and partake of this ministry, brothers are also cornerstones, man. Right, as the Lord said in Ephesians, right, 2:20, right, First Peter, that the second chapter, man, right, that we are lively stones, man, right, and chief cornerstones, man, right, of this building, of the truth, man, right. So it's lucky, right. We're gonna get into it, right. So first and foremost, right, it's not on the sheet yet, right, but as it's been revamped, right. First and foremost, as we are revamping, first there will be moving forward application with questionnaires to fill out for brothers who desire to join the prospect program, right. And again, this is to prove brothers, man, to see where brothers, minds may be at, right. And of course, there may be an evaluation, after brothers have went through the program, huh? Right, because you don't want brothers or men to join the body for a wrong reason, right. You got certain men that just want Esau to bow down and kiss their boot, man. We actually held camp, man. I can't recall if Naquam or the brother Ariah was teaching, man, at the harbor maybe about 2 months ago. Brothers was getting edified, right, and the brothers, he wanted to stop the edification midway, right, because he said, well, I want to see you debate the nations, man. That's all, right. So to get a sincerity of brothers, man, brothers will moving forward, fill out in an application, and also brothers may go missing, man, right. You may want to check on a brother, make sure he's safe, as well. And next second, approving phase upon initial interest of joining the program. So again, at least for me, brothers, they come out, that they say that they want to join the prospect program. I say, okay. Me personally, I approve, brothers, man. Just because you say you want to come out and you want to join the camp, that doesn't mean automatically your weeks are just going to start there, man. Hey, brothers got to get proven first, man. Right, making sure this brother has been consistent for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Hey, I'm going to officially, start this brother in the program, man. Or this brother, he's inconsistent, or he came over for a week, right? Then he disappeared for 2 weeks, right? Came back a week, right? Then he vanished for 3 weeks, man. All right. Hey, this brother, he's liable not to be around. So having a proving phase for brothers, man, right, before officially starting them in the program, man, right? Because again, it's sensitive, man. You can't just have brothers that's just creeping up, inside the group chats, man. Right, the brother comes off for 1 week, then he just vanishes, man. Right, but he's just spying out brothers' information, right? Laying up charge on them, being a spy and a creep, right? Right. So having a proven phase as well for the prospects, right before joining the camp. Right now, let's get into it. Right, the meat and potatoes. Right, all WFI prospects must show up to camp on time with the Bible, Apocrypha, pen and pad for 12 consecutive Sabbaths. All right. So again, brothers aren't just showing up at the camp, man, right, with a bag of a damn E&J. Right. You got the hen dog, right? The damn chips and snacks, man. right? But you left your fringes at home, right? Right beside your notebook, right, your highlighters, right, your pencils, right. You left all of that in the closet, right, underneath the damn shoe case or the shoe boxes, man. Right, but you brought a bottle of a damn strong drink, right, and say Salaki, right. That's off, right. So all prospects must show up to camp on time, right. And again, if there is an emergency, right, or if there is a reason that you shall be late, make sure that you check in, right, with your respective lieutenant, man, and follow that ranking order and be in communication. Again, as brothers, said all the time back in the day, brothers will let it be known if they're going to be late for Esau, man. I'm gonna be late to work, right? I have to call out, but brothers can't do the same thing for their own brothers, right? And that's extremely off, right? And respective persons. So make sure you come to camp on time with the Bible, Apocrypha, pen and pad for 12 consecutive Sabbaths, right? Consecutive. That 1 week on, 1 week off. Right. Next, prospects must hold 7 consecutive must hold posts for 7 consecutive Sabbaths. Right. Also, I should have add that as well. It's by discretion by city, but also a milk midterm to be given after those 12 consecutive Sabbaths. Right. Again, brothers shouldn't just be coming out, as it's just a hangout spot, man. Right. I give brothers personally a milk midterm, after those 12 consecutive Sabbaths. Right. And those questions consist on common things that's brought out at camp. Right. Such as asking brothers, name 5 laws that's commonly brought out at camp. Right. Break down Deuteronomy 28:68. Right. Break down or give me the give me 2 laws on pork. Right. Extremely light things, extremely milk things that brothers should have accumulated and at least be able to touch on within the first 3 months. And then after completion of that milk midterm, right, then brothers, right, must hold posts for 7 consecutive Sabbaths, right? And also it gives brother a sense of pride, that they earn their way on the line, right? Then after those 7 consecutive Sabbaths, right, brothers must hold camp signs for 3 consecutive Sabbath days, man. Right? Brothers may have A-frames and posters thereof, right? But a brothers have posters and in that prospect phase, man. Right? Brothers gotta hold signs, right, for 3 weeks. Right. And essentially, right, this will be I'll break it down in 3 phases. Right? 12 weeks of taking notes, 10 weeks of holding posts, 10 weeks of quizzes. Right? That's your 12, 10, 10, right? Which gives you your 32 weeks. All right. It reads, failure to show up to 12 consecutive Sabbath days means 12 weeks must immediately start over. No excuses. Limit to 3 restarts, man. Right. And again, this isn't a game, right? Or we just want to just give brothers a 1,000 goals at it, man. Brothers get three chances, 3 shots at the prospect program. All right. And again, hey, if a brother comes out for 11 weeks, right, and then on that 12th week, he's a no call, no show, right? We can't find our brother for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Hey, that brother comes back, he has to restart the prospect program. And when you restart the prospect program, it's not sweet, right? It's not, you come back and you're just going to do 12. Hey, if a brother is on meet 3 quiz, man, we had this before, man. Brothers got to meet 3 and just vanished, disappeared, man. Right? You call them, and the phone goes straight to voicemail. Right? You text them, the numbers blocked. Hey, and then say for instance, that brother, he comes back, he says, Salakia, I was doing some things, had a spirit on me, man. Hey, that brother still has to restart the program. Right. So now you went from meet 3 back to week 0. Now the first restart is 14 weeks. Come. Right. The first restart is 14 weeks. All right. Now say a brother goes to 14 weeks, right? Midterm, holds post, man, right? Gets back to his quizzes, and he said, I don't know. I might take a break, vacation. Now that brother, he can still come back, but now he has to come back and restart at 26 weeks. 26 consecutive weeks, right, of taking notes. A midterm again, home post again, doing his quizzes again. Right now, say your brother gets to meet 2, right, or he gets to his final exam, goes off, freaks off again. Now that brother still has one more shot to come back, but now it's 52 weeks. So it's a whole year of taking notes, then midterm, then post, right? Then quizzes. And again, these are consecutive weeks. You cannot miss 52 weeks, 26 weeks, you're 14, man. So it's better to, as they say, do things right the first time. And again, right, the prospect program is made to prove, brothers, man. So if you'll abandon the body, once, twice, man, it's only right that brothers are proved even harder. Right. So next, prospects are not required to add to camp treasury unless they choose to. Right, Con? So for brothers, right, that's soldiers and up, right, it's mandatory, right, $5 to $10 per week. I believe they had an increase to the treasury, right, for $25 per month, right, per camp. Now again, if a brother is prospecting, right, or brother is a member, if you choose to add, to give alms and alms deed towards the treasury, all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God. Although it is not a requirement, right, it's still extremely beautiful if brothers do as well. Right. Next, right. So prospects must complete 10 exams, right? Starting immediately right after your weeks of holding posts. Right. Quizzes and reading will be reviewed after each exam every Tuesday on the WFI conference call. Right now, we used to have a conference call, every Thursday actually. Right, brothers like myself, maybe on that call, from 4 hours, 5 hours, going over all the quizzes from Milk 1 to Meat 3. Now we have, through the spread, we have lieutenants, right, which are more hands-on with the prospects, right, which should be reviewing your quizzes each and every week with you through the spread, man. All right. So next, it reads, exams will consist of 3 milk, 3 bread, 3 meat exams, along with weekly reading, plus a final exam, which will be done in person with a captain of any WFI camp. Right. So, again, our brothers, right, we have a standard body-wise milk quiz, milk 1, 2, and 3, bread 1, 2, and 3, meat 1, 2, and 3. Now, brothers, again, should be having your quizzes being reviewed with you each and every week, right, with either your lieutenant or your fellow officer, right, to go over those quizzes with you through the spread. Now, consequences for missing one quiz will result in warning. If a second exam is missed, the prospect must restart his 7 weeks all over. right? So, again, if you're given a deadline, right, to do the quiz, man. Right? I mean, it's not hard, man. As again, brothers touched on, brothers have regions, brothers have responsibilities, and brothers have offices and things that we must uphold on a larger scale and level weekly, man. I mean, we can't just say, well, you know what, I'm just not going to hold camp this week. Hey, you know what? Hey, I'm just not going to make sure that we have things in order for Passover, or we have things that's needed or to be done as far as councils, or we need to get things in order for the school. We can't do that, man. Right? If brothers are charged with the quiz, do the quiz, man. Do the work. Right? Because again, if you can't do the work now on a small level, I mean, we can't depend on you to do things on a bigger level. Right? And brothers again don't have to do a quiz within 2 hours. Right? Brothers should have enough time, at least a week time, where brothers can do a question or two a day. If you can't make space to do 1 to 2 questions per day, come back next day 1 to 2 questions, right, until you're done and complete. Then that says a lot about brothers, right? Right, next, it reads consequences for not being on the call are the same as missing exams, right? So brothers again should be on these calls getting your quizzes reviewed, right? And if you're not having your quiz being reviewed, then it's the same as if you didn't do it. And again, we're not asking for brothers to get 100% right. We know brothers are still learning. We know brothers are still growing through the Spirit, huh? But what we do ask for is for brothers to put forth that effort, right? The answers will be given to you on each quiz, right, with their respective lieutenant or officer, right, that has the knowledge and information to go in depth. And if you have any questions, those brothers will even go further into breaking it down, give you more precepts, and give you more understanding than you may not have known or missed. So, brothers, make sure that you're putting in that effort. All right. Next, it reads, after passing and enduring the Watchman for Israel Prospect program, brothers are officially WFI soldiers. Right. So after, right, and doing those grueling 32 weeks, taking notes, holding posts, doing your quizzes, passing that final exam, right, brothers will officially, right, become WFI soldiers. Right, well, brothers will have a certificate made and presented for them, and brothers will also have a your camp shirts made, right, by the body. Right. Lastly, it reads, present your bodies a living sacrifice, Romans 12:1. Right, and that's self-explanatory, man. Present your bodies a living sacrifice. This isn't for carnal gain, views to be seen of men, but this is for the raising of the body and the army of the Most High God Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Brothers got it.
We want to throw the brother, add the brother Kasadi in, right? The Captain Kasadi out there in the East Coast. And the brother's going to go into the general camp guidelines. Right, so we're going to add the brother in here through the Spirit. Okay, so we having some difficulties. Now, again, going into the prospect program, you heads of camps, man, get those brothers a certificate, give them their shirts, their hoodies, man. Buy them a bottle of wine, hey, take them out to eat, man. Celebrate with those brothers, man. It's not an easy thing to go through the prospect program, right? It's not an easy thing to come out week in and week out and actually do that, man. So don't just give a brother a highlighter, man. Right, a highlighter and a damn flashcard set, man. That you already took 200 of them. He can have the rest. Right, man. Right? Turn up in the righteousness with that brother, man. Treat them brothers well, man. Right? Along with the certificate, like the brother said, do it publicly in the Quapatas. Don't text the brother congratulations after everybody leave, man. You send the brother home early. right? And he's not even part of the Quapatas. You text congratulations, and nobody knows what happened, man. Publicly, congratulate that individual, right?
Con. And also
God,
reach out to the scribe so he can be added into the Watchman report, right? So he can be highlighted for that month.
You
can you hear me, King?
out here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can't hear you, King.
You say you can't hear me? Hold on, bear with me.
Right.
Can you hear me now, King?
All right, we can hear you, King.
Con, I'll praise to the Most High. Con, Lord willing, everyone is locked into the spirit. If brothers can't hear me, just let me know. I can we can figure something else out. We're going to go over the W5 camp guidelines, the general camp guidelines. Everyone should have this already, whether you're officer or senior officer, send it in the group chat. But number one, of course, on the list is no disrespect will be tolerated within the camp, right? No interrupted men in the midst of their speech. So, brothers know we're all men. And there are certain lines that once they're crossed amongst men, it's crossed, right? So it shouldn't be any form of disrespect whatsoever tolerated within the body. Whether you're disrespecting your officer, whether you're disrespecting your senior officer, your captain, general, vanguard, or just in general disrespecting a brother, whether the rank or not, that's absolutely not tolerated within the body, right? And if councils have to be happening, and consequences thereafter, everyone understands what you signed up for, right? If you didn't know this, if this your first time seeing the general camp guidelines, then that truly is a problem, right? But nevertheless, we're going over it so everyone is all on the same accord. And I'm gonna get one quick precept. I know we pressed on time. I'm gonna get one quick precept because as we go over these different things, we're not doing it just because we want to have a call and exalt ourselves and put everyone on one call just to hear these different guidelines that we came up with. No, the Lord allowed these things to be so that we all on one body and one accord. And it's the book of Judges, chapter 20, and verse number 11. It says, so all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together. We have to be knit together. What's the point of we're coming out there on the highways and byways together, holding posts together, being on these calls together, coming to the feast days together, checking on each other, doing these different things, wearing the WFI logo, wearing Genesis 4 and 9 on our back, if we're not all in one mind and one spirit, right? Brothers tossed to and fro and doing their different things, right? The Lord said, knit together as one man, right? So this is not about, this is what we do in this city. This is what we do in this city. This is how we do it over here in the South. This is how we do it in the East. No, this is WFI all in all. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yoshai. One body all in all, right? So back to the guidelines, no disrespect. Number two, it says, we teach out the 1611 KJV only, no other books, right? And this is not to say you can't go into historical accounts, different things that will profit the ministry, but you're not going into Enoch, Jasher, Jubilees. Genesis dropped a new doctrine and you want to check that out. We're not doing that. If you want to do that and you want to be your own man and your own vessel and an individualite, then by all means, do your thing. But for brothers that are sincere, for brothers that want to continue to put their hand to the plow, for brothers that want to do this work within the body, being a part of this government that the Lord has established, then guess what? This is the order, and this is how you do it. Number three, violence among the body is strictly prohibited unless it's self-defense. Right? You can't if you know you have an anger management problem, right? You have an anger spirit on you, brother. You shouldn't be the first one when someone is coming up that you're trying to address that person, knowing how your spirit may get you hot-headed. You may then throw a punch. You didn't, and you getting brothers jammed up. Absolutely no violence amongst the body. There's no violence amongst your household. There's no violence amongst brothers. Brothers shouldn't be trying to knuckle up in a parking lot and saying, like, just get it in. We had brothers say that before. We talked about it earlier. Brother told another brother on a Passover, I'm going to slam you on your neck. You can't be having that within the body. When we out here at camp, we're not out here to throw hands and beat down Esau. We want to see his face and his imprint on the bottom of our boot. This is not what we out here to do. Now, and then self-defense and things is happening, then by all means, we're going to defend ourselves. We're not going to flee and then just get stumped all out. Now we on these social media apps. No, self-defense purposes only. Number 4, all members are required to adhere to every WFI guideline. Without it, we have these guidelines set in place too. The Lord allowed us through the Spirit to be able to have government and rule over the church, right? And we have to be wise shepherds over the church unless different things happen and now our whole camp is overthrown through the work and the labor that brothers have paved for years. All overthrown because there's no parameter set in place, right? So we're not trying to be pressing down on brothers and brothers' households, and that's not the spirit that should be coming off to you. But nevertheless, there is rules, there is guidance, there is structure that's put in place, and if you do not adhere to it, you're subject to be removed. Number 5, bringing any other doctrine to the body outside of what the body teaches is terms to be exiled from camp. No excuses there. Everyone should understand that. Number 6, all members, not prospects, are required to give $5 to $10 to the camp treasury, $20 a month to camp treasurer. And like we just went over, we actually upped that. It's now $25 a month. Whether you're doing $7 one week, $5 the next week, or you put the whole 25 on 1 week, you're covered every week. Every single brother that's above a prospect, so soldiering up, you're required to put in. If you going out at the camp but you're not putting in, that's a problem. And guess what? It's going to be a council head for you. No more of that going on in any city. You got money to go to the bar, or damn, you really shouldn't, But anyway, you got money to do certain things like that, but you can't give into the treasurer, which is for the betterment of the body, to help brothers out when brothers are down. We just had a few months ago, damn, they took away food stamps. You putting in that money to the treasury to help the next household out that really was relying on food stamps. Number 7, all members are expected to respect the hierarchy of the camp, right? We have vanguards, we have generals, we have captains, we have senior officers, lieutenants. Respect the order that the Most High has put before you. If this was not of the Most High, this would be surely overthrown. Number 8, all members must be at camp on time. And real quick, going back to number 7, you can't, just because you think a brother is younger or think a brother's not as wise as you or whatever you think in your mind and your heart, that's on you. The Lord put those men in that position. Now you don't want to listen to a brother because you think you should be there. Oh, I'm elder such and such, and I should be. No, brother. The Lord never said that. The Lord didn't put you in that position, so the Lord didn't put you in that position. The Most High put whomever he wants to. He exalts and establishes. He builds a brother up. He breaks a brother down. The Lord is in control of all. The Lord said that the king's heart is in the hand of the king, or it's like in the hand of the Most High, roughly paraphrasing. So the Lord has established these different things. Number 8, all members must be at camp on time. Emergency situations are accepted. Absolutely. So I know even over here, and this is not a requirement. This is just what we do necessarily. One brother late, every brother late. If we at camp is at a certain time, brother's not there, one brother late, it doesn't matter. We all hold a gauntlet after camp, right? And we just get it in. Keep brothers sharp, and also allows for brothers not to be the one to cause everyone else to have to, deal with being out there in the blistering cold because you couldn't get to camp on time. You go to your job on time, you clock in on time, you do certain things. You make it when you're going out to a movie. You there, damn, when the credits is the trailers is going on, getting your popcorn, your snacks. You there before the movie starts. So how you can't be at camp to do the work of the Lord? It's off. Number 9, no sweatpants, shorts to be worn at camp. We understand that. We went over that. Number 10, 2 unexcused absences is based for 2 camp suspension. Number 11, all teaching must be done in sincerity with pure heart. Right? You're not out there. You only want to teach when the camera is rolling. The camera not rolling, you don't want to teach. If it's not a crowd and a flock of Israelites, 1,000 souls, then you don't want to teach. That's called preeminence. That's called pride. And that's wicked and off. no matter if it's no souls out there, and the Lord allows us to just to teach to the wind, Lord willing, that wind is carried to the next city, and we say we still the hopeful elect. So do it with sincerity and a clean heart. Number 12, the whole WFI body is required to fast at least once a week, either by self or with the body, for keeping a clean spirit and purging out leaven. And it's very important as we approach the days of the Passover. The brothers got it.
Count all praise to Yahweh Shemiah Shah. So most our willing brothers have heard the guidelines. Brothers understand that these things are filtered through the scriptures. These aren't things where brothers are telling you, let me patch your pockets after camp. Right? I need a copy of your house key to make sure you're reading. Right? Let me put me on the title to your car. Right? These are things that are integral part of maintaining order and structure. Cut. And brothers go back over these things, man. Make sure brothers are complicit and they understand what's going on. If you have any questions and sincerity, ask brothers, right? Ask, well, I think this or that, ask your ranking officer, so he can provide clarity to you. And as we wind down, we want to give a few updates, right? A few updates through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. One, first and foremost, is Passover coming up, right? Everybody should know Passover is coming up. The brother sent in their respective chats for a garment's sake who you can get a garment from, right? There was a list of different Israelites that may get different garments, right? So if you need a garment, do it now. You got people, they closing up, they shop because they backed up with orders. So if you and your son and your daughters, your family need stuff, you need to do that now, right? We're looking to hold a call with the brothers that are hosting the Passover by their respective region. In the West Coast, they're keeping it out in LA. In the South, they're keeping it in Little Rock. East Coast, we hosting the Passover in Baltimore. Midwest, they're doing it in Chicago. Right? So you brothers, man, make sure you saving up money. Make sure brothers take those days off, man. Stop putting all your PTO in because, you got drunk watching the Monday Night Football game. And you can't make it Tuesday, man. Save up your time. Save up your hours. You got to take off for the Passover. You can't say I'm at work, right? You have to take off for the Passover. It's no excuse. Or my supervisor, my job. The Lord don't want to hear about that, man. This is the most sanctified day amongst the feast days, right? So you got the Sabbath, you got the Passover, you got the Day of Atonement, the last day of Tabernacles, dedication. These are major, major holy days. God. So brothers should be looking at their calendar and saying, oh, do I have my hours? Talking to your boss, your supervisor, these devils, man. Right? Finessing the system if you can in all wisdom to get those days off. The Passover colors were also put out. So if you haven't seen the Passover colors, your scribe should have that. Right? And we're doing blue. We're doing the colors of the tabernacle. The colors of the tabernacle that you read about in the book of Exodus, that's the color we wear. Or colors, blue, royal purple, scarlet, and a gold trim. God, so brothers can really get creative with that. And that's in it. You can say, well, why'd you pick? It's the Lord picked it. The Lord put that as, I don't like that assortment. But if you don't like that assortment, something deep inside of you ain't right. Because that's the assortment for the tabernacle in the law. So you can really put that together, man. So brothers, don't procrastinate getting your garments. You brothers that are hosting the Passover. I know we're supposed to have a call. That's on me, but Lord willing, we can get together and make sure that brothers have exactly what they need to be able to give brothers a beautiful experience for that Passover, right? So that Passover is coming up April 1st. It falls in the middle of the week. Make sure you have everything set up for brothers that are traveling logistically. Don't wait last minute. I need a ride to Chicago. Right? Can I stay with you? Brothers did that, 2 years ago? Last year? Some brothers just showed up spiritually naked with nothing going on. I'm here. Right? Asking brothers, can I stay with you No, I got my woman in my. Well, can I get it? No, brother. Right. So you gotta be prudent. Right. Be prudent and think about the Passover. Right now, in terms of the Passover, we have the updated 2026 WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. We had about what 4 brothers that did it last year. Right, only 4 brothers completed it, man. Now brothers did try it. All praise to the Most High, but I don't want to call brothers out by name without mentioning all brothers. So, but we had about 4 brothers that did complete it. Right, no brothers know who they are, man. Brothers got a beautiful hoodie. They got like a $75 gift card, Visa gift card. Brothers got certificates. Brothers got a lot for completing that WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. So the goal of the challenge is to stir your spirit up to be as zealous as you can be before we eat of the body of the Lord. Con, you want to be on fire going into the Passover, right? You don't want to eat the Passover unworthily, condemning your own self, struggling with 1,000 secret sins. So we want every brother and even ourselves to go into that Passover with pure hands. So we're going to send out, we're going to send out the WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. If one of the scribes are in and they got, I think the Waham is the only one that has it. Let me see. Let's see if I can send that out. Or if the Waham may be able to send it out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiyah. Right? Sending out that WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. It's a challenge for each rank. And it's a challenge for there's going to be a challenge for each rank from prospects on out. Right? From prospects on out through the spirit and power of Yahweh, His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Right? So bear with me. I'm going to send this out. And brothers can send this to their respective chats. This is the updated 2026 WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. I don't think it's sent. Let me see if I can. Bear with me. Brothers able to open that? Can't open it. All right, let me see. Salakia. I may have to get the WAM to send that out. All right, hold on. Bear with me. Let me see if I can do it like this. I just sent it. All right, and I think I sent it in one of the leadership chats. All right. So, brother, send that WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge out. Right? 2026. Right? The purpose is a disciplined challenge leading to Passover to refine, purify, and strengthen the body through obedience, sacrifice, consistency, and fire-tested faith. So even if you may not be able to complete the challenge, put your hand to the plow and try the challenge. Don't delete that. As soon as it got sent, you deleted it. It's taking up too much space. I'm running out of space. Put your hand to the plow and try the challenge. Right? I'm not going to go through every one. You brothers can go through it. You can read it for sake of time. You can look into it. And it's created to be somewhat more difficult than last year's challenge. So if you didn't do last year's challenge, this one's a little more difficult, man. Right? And it's from prospects all the way on up to camp leaders and vanguards. Con, look at the WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. There will be a very, very, very weighty reward to those who complete the challenge. There will be a very promising, Lord willing, a weighty reward to brothers who complete the challenge. God, right? And brothers, there may be greater reward than last year. Right? So there's a reward for the challenge. Right? There will be a reward for the challenge. That's the WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge. Right? You leaderships of your cities, go over it with the brothers. Right? If you got any questions, those brothers can always ask you. Right? But it should be self-explanatory. That's the WFI Fiery Furnace Challenge through the spirit and power of the Most High. Right? Brothers, put your hand to the plow, man. Put your hand to the plow. And it's supposed to be hard. Right? You can't say, well, who's going to be able to do this? Brothers did it last year. Multiple brothers. right? It's all about work ethic, and discipline, right? Work ethic and discipline is the integral part of the fiery furnace challenge through the Spirit. So another thing, right? It's like, bear with me. I want to go back. We got so much stuff. All right. We talked about Passover. Pentecost. We're going to do Pentecost as an entire camp in Indianapolis. God, we did Passover. I mean, it was mighty last year. Passover was the best Passover, man. Man, we couldn't even all of the chants and the calling. It was like waves of just praising the Most High over and over. That was beautiful, man. Right? Just when you about to start, brothers hitting the staff and chanting and calling on the Lord, man. Then you want to do it again, then another brother get into it. Right? It was a beautiful event at the Passover. The brothers did a beautiful job. All those brothers, and you gotta say something. Right?
That was the best time I had in my life.
That was the best time I ever had in my life, man. Right? That's the best time, man. You know, from Thursday to Monday, man. It was on. The brother Yair, the brother Ariel, all them brothers in Indianapolis did a beautiful job. They did a beautiful job and wore their body to the ground to make sure that everybody had a beautiful time. And everybody was protected, everybody ate, and everybody could glorify the name of the Most High. Right? So we're going to host Pentecost in that same city. That's May 23rd. And we're going to do something that entire weekend, Most High willing. Passover always falls on a Saturday night. Saturday night till Sunday night is going to be Pentecost. So Lord willing, we could put an itinerary together, game plan something, give it to brothers in advance so brothers can begin to plan and to save up. It's always 7 weeks out of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So you got about 2 months. So, don't be blowing your money on the new 11s, man, that came out 2 years ago. And then 2 years before that, you just had to buy. You could have saved that money for a Pentecost. All them hot Cheetos, brother, $5 every week, brother, that's $50, man. Save up your money, right?
I'm not sure if you said it's Memorial Day, so-called Memorial Day weekend. So everybody should be off that Monday, right? So the Most High had it fall perfectly. So
right. Yeah, so we were Most High willing to do something Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And brother, Monday. And Monday, man. So start thinking about that, brother. Start thinking, you brothers in regions that's kind of far off, we want brothers to be able to make it. And we want brothers to communicate their shortcomings in advance so we can help brothers get what they need to get where they have to be. Do not just opt out right now and say, well, I can't make it. All right, brother, you don't know what the Most High could do, man. You have hundreds of brothers that can come together and help you keep the Pentecost. We want to see brothers from Texas. We want to see all the brothers from the Midwest, brothers from California, right? The Bay Area, and Seattle, and LA, and Fresno, man. There's brothers I haven't met flesh to flesh yet, man. And Europe, man. We want to see you brothers in Europe, right? Brothers in Trinidad, you brothers in Jamaica, man. Right? We want to see you brothers, man. So Lord willing, brothers are aware of that. Brothers are thinking about that. And you're communicating, what your situation is so brothers can help you get where you need to be. God, May 23rd, Pentecost. Look out for the flyers. Should be coming out soon, Most High willing. Another thing, we talked about the hoodies and the shirts. So these are the newest hoodies that brothers have, right? And we also have blue WFI shirts and black WFI shirts. The brother Mataziah and them brothers been doing a beautiful job to help brothers get the shirts. If you don't have the shirts, reach out. The brothers should be sending that to the heads of the respective camps and the fringes. So you can get the fringes for your respective shirts. It's important that we go out in uniform on the Sabbath days and as much as we can as the camp grows so we can all be on the same page. God, you got one brother, he got a beater on with fringes on. Then another brother got the hoodie on. No, we in order, huh? Right? Brothers could do the black, they could do the blue. Make sure you have your WFI apparel on a Shabbat primarily, if you can. All right. The next thing we want to do, kind of jump around. We want to do shout outs, man. We want to shout out certain brothers, man. Right? The Lord said, know them that labor among you in the Lord, man. So we want to shout out certain brothers who have been in the camp for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, who have showed unwavering loyalty, right? And we've been through a lot as a body. We've had diss tracks made about us. We've had documentaries made about us. We've had slander. We've been through splits, breakups, confusion, violence, all manner of things, man. We've almost been killed. We've had sorcerers pull out knives, guns, right? When brothers got into it and brothers are still in the body. And that's a beautiful thing. It's rare to find brothers that are still able to show loyalty to one another. And we were taught in the world, it's easy to just be fickle and, you go from wherever you want to go, man. Even in these jobs, Jake, you ain't staying at a job, man, too long. You out, right? Wherever the money at, that's where you going. And even at camp, at the body, we know things aren't perfect, right? Things aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. Brothers can surely admit that, we're not perfect, right? And to see brothers still be part of the body for years and years and years and deal with our imperfections, our shortcomings, the growth of the camp, the development of the camp, and still stick around, we definitely want to get those brothers, give them they flowers, right, while they still alive, and shout out the brothers. So we asked the brothers that are over the different regions to get that information so we can shout out the brothers that at minimum been in the camp 4 years, right? Then 5 years and 6 years on up. So we're going to start with the did we get a 4? I believe we got a 4 region, right? So bear with me. We got the West Coast. So we're going to start with the West Coast, right? We're going to start with the West Coast. And we're going to put, we shouting out now, but Lord willing, we plan on doing something for you brothers, man, right? We don't know exactly what it is, but we plan on doing something for you brothers, probably at Pentecost when we all together, right? Publicly doing something for you brothers that's been laboring and sticking around and still got your hand to the plow. So, and if you hear that, you see these brothers, man, congratulate them brothers, man. Right? Ask them brothers, man. Why did you stick around? Why are you still in the camp? What's going on? Right? And most high willing the brothers give you something that you need to hear. So I'm going to start with the Bay Area. These brothers have been in the camp since 2021. So that's 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, going on 26, going on 6 years. That's a long time. That's not in the truth. That's in the camp. The brother Gad. These are brothers in the Bay. The captain Judah, Manya, Yowanathan, Rakah, Sirach, Azaziah, Slakia, and Sirach. Those brothers been in the camp since 2021, man. You got them brothers, man. Shoot them a text, man. Right? Call them brothers, man. That's a long time. Right? That's a long time. And them brothers are different because they don't have the luxury to see brothers as much as other brothers. Brothers in the Midwest link up all the time. East Coast link up with the Midwest often. Them brothers, they kind of on an island, man. And they have to go through a lot to see brothers. And we have to go through a lot to see them. So they still in the body, so that's beautiful, man. 2022 in the West Coast. Azaziah, Nahum, out in LA, Yasha Allah, Shalimah, Elder Mahar, and Jeremiah. They've all been in the camp That's 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, going on 2026, going on 5 years. So all praise to the Most High, man. Right? So the West Coast got a lot of veterans out there, a lot of battle-tested men, right? And then we got, we got the East Coast. Is that the one you want?
So this for the East Coast, right? The mighty Captain Kasaya and the mighty officer Abaya have been in the camp since 2019. Right? That's 7 years. Right? 6 years. You got the mighty brothers in Philly, Jersey, Yazarok or Yaazara and Yazarok and Elder Nathaniel Allah. Right?
Yeah, them brothers, Abadia, Kasadia, Yazara, and Yahar from Atlanta. Them brothers are actually started the camp. Right? They're the core brothers of that WFI Philly Jersey camp. Before we had a New York camp, it was just the Philly Jersey camp. And the brothers could go more into the history. Brother might say, no, that brother was there. We're missing this brother. Hey, them brothers been around a long time. Right? Beautiful brothers. They've been in the camp a long time. 2019 is really when we started opening up the door for other camps as well. Because we were really just doing Baltimore and Detroit. You know, and then when Kasadia came down, and the Kasadia doppelganger guy, the brother who's no longer in the truth, right? The brother that looked like Kasadia, we opened up the door for the Philly Jersey camp, and them brothers at 2019, we went up there, met them brothers, and them brothers been around, despite odds and councils and many things. His brothers are still part of the body, so you know, all praise to the Most High.
Salak, you said Kasadia trying to get brothers' attention.
Con, can brothers hear me?
Kasadia, you can hear? Con, no doubt. Also on the West Coast, we didn't say the brother Yakal, right? The brother Yakal been in the call. He was in Seattle before he went to Atlanta. Since 2020, right? The New York brothers, right? Howard Shah, Lama Shak, the brother Nelson, Elder Jose, and Nawa Allah since 20 years, right? 5 years, the Lieutenant Yatazamak, the elders, Jonah and Josiah, Agarop, Stephen and Yashar for 5 years, right? A long time known. 4 years, the brother Gadal and Yair, right? Rhode Island. Oh, and Elder Rafai. In Rhode Island, you got the officer Siobhan, Kavan, and Yashar, all since 2022. Most High.
Con. And you got brothers in the Midwest, right? So we're going to shout out the brothers in the Midwest that's been in the camp at minimum 4 years, right? Let's see. They're kind of all over the place. All right, this Chicago. The brother Tazima been in the camp 5 years. So long. And the brother's still very young. I think he joined the camp. Maybe he was like 17 or something like that, man. 18. You know, the brother's still in the camp. All praise to the Most High. Yashpa All been in the camp 4 years. Marquas, the lieutenant, 4 years. Yashpa All is the chief treasurer. Lahabia, 4 years. Elder Ray, 4 years. And Shamawa All, 4 years. All those are beautiful brothers with good spirits, strong brothers, diligent brothers. So shout out to them brothers in Chicago. And Milwaukee, the officer Tahawar, Izar, and Shawar, they've all been in the camp at minimum 4 years. All praise to the Most High.
Khan, and also the mighty brothers Abaya Allah. I believe it was 2019 or 2020, the brother joined the camp as well.
And I know we missing brothers from the Midwest, There's other brothers we missing from the Midwest. So Salakia, right? We don't have all the brothers from the Midwest to shout out all those brothers. I don't want to leave brothers out, but you know, most high willing, we can shout out those brothers at another time once we get that information. Out in Europe, right? For 4 years up, the brother Ashley, the brother Nathan, Abishai, and Saparia been in the camp 4 years. So we done had the Europe camp for maybe 5 years or so, 4 years, maybe 4 years, I believe. And the brothers are still diligent, man. One of the brothers is in Germany and he's by himself. He don't have nobody around him, man. And he's diligent in the scribe chat. That's the brother Saparia, man. Diligent in his office, and to be out there in another country by yourself, away from everybody, still diligent. That's a beautiful thing to have, man. That's a good, strong spirit. And the brothers in Europe by themselves, man. All in all. One of the brothers is in Scotland. Abishai, he lives in Scotland. And he's still, you know, he's still diligent with the brothers. Right? So all praise to the Most High for them brothers out there in Europe, man. They're doing a beautiful thing. His prospect in Italy, his prospects in Scotland, or brothers in Scotland, Germany. I believe there was a brother in France. So them brothers are putting in a mighty work through the Spirit. Now, do we got the South? Gabar, we got the South. All right, all praise to the Most High. All right, from the South, 2020, Senior Officer Yahar, Lieutenant Ahabia, right? Been in the camp since 2020. Ahabia is the only brother from the Atlanta camp since the Atlanta camp started, right? When the Atlanta camp started, he's still the only remaining brother. And Atlanta went through hell, right? Brothers, you talk to them brothers in the, yeah, but I don't know why you put Ahabia. Abaya.
Yeah.
Okay, Salakia. Right? The brother Abaya, man. Right, Salakia Abaya. Right? But the brother been in the camp since through thick and thin out there in Atlanta, man. Right? And he's the camp priest. He's the head camp priest. He sends all of the prayers up, man, all of the prayer requests and all of that, man. Holds calls and, you know, a young brother, diligent brother, man. So shout out to the brothers in Atlanta and the brother Abaya through the Spirit. Zahar in Houston, right? Been in the camp since 2021, right? We had a lot of confusion happening in Houston. The camp is always going through hell and high water, and the brother's still here, man. So all praise to the Most High for the brother being, you know, a faithful brother. Even when there was a sedition and an uproar, right? The brother remained loyal and faithful to the brother. You can't buy loyalty, man. That's hard to find in the last days, especially when the Lord said the love of many shall wax cold, right? And iniquity shall abound, and men are going to be lovers of their own selves. They have their own thing going on, right? So these are beautiful spirits. 2022, Little Rock, Officer Joshua, Lieutenant Washanya, they've been in the camp since 2022. We got Nahum, Officer Nahum, Officer Mataziah. I think he been in the, we don't have the years for them brothers, but I think Mataziah been in the camp since what, 2021 in St. Louis.
Slaki. Yeah, Khan, they all completed a prospect 2022
Con.
together.
And Lieutenant Gedalia, right? So all praise to the Most High. Out there in the Midwest, man, these brothers been in the camp a long time in Detroit. 7+ years. These brothers are blood brothers. They all three blood brothers. Call them the Young Lions, right? Shashar, Matthias, and Yatzazah. They've been in the camp over 7 years, right? I believe they joined when they were like 17, maybe 16, 17. You know, brother. Now one of the brothers got his ribs. They got children now. You know, that they got their thing going on, and they've been in the camp since the Detroit camp started. Yaradon and them three brothers been in the camp since the camp started. Right? And that's it. Them brothers always hold security on Passover too. Anytime you go into the Passover in the Midwest, Expect to see them brothers. They're gonna shake you down. That's them brothers. They're gonna shake you down. They're gonna ask you a lot of questions. You better have the right answers. Right? Because them brothers are very diligent in a security work, man. Right? Yaradon been in the camp, obviously 10 plus years. Kazak, 4+ years. Aina, 4+ years. Nathana War, 5+ years. Mayim, 5+ years. Tazadak, 4+ years. And Zion, 5+ years. They got a veteran camp up there. That's a solid core of brothers up there in Detroit. Very sharp, very faithful. The camp is growing. Them brothers are loyal. Despite all the confusion that was coming up in Detroit, for brothers that know, documentaries was made and confusion and wickedness, right? But them brothers are still holding it down through the Spirit. So all praise to the Most High for the brothers out there in the Midwest. Did I not mention anybody? We ain't even do Baltimore. Right? We got brothers in Baltimore, man. Right? Brothers out here in Baltimore.
So for 7+ years, got the brother Araya, Elder Dahlia Wash, the Wam, and Gabar. Right? Okay.
Yeah, what, 2018? That's when I think brothers 2017. I came at the end of 2017. Came 2018. Oh, 2017, man. That's a long time, man. And that's just years in the camp. Right? Years in the camp.
5 years plus. You got the brother Pagaya Allah, Lawaka, and the brother Nasha Aya. God.
5+ years, man. All praise to the Most High, man. All praise. And brothers, any brothers 4 years? Oh, 4 years? Going on 4 years? Right? Going on 4 years? Where you at? 5 years? All praise to the Most High, man. Right? So, all praise to the Most High for brothers. We wanted to shout out brothers, man. Right? Give brothers their flowers, man. Commend brothers for being loyal to Yahweh Shema Shah. To brothers, despite all of the things that may not happen, and confusion and feast days and thick and thin and arguments and sacrifice and near-death experiences, man. Right? Brothers still here, man. Every brother showed up to Chicago. That's my favorite camp of all time. The Chicago pull-up, man. Right? Every brother within a span of 5 days, 6 days, showed up to Chicago. Yeah, it was a turnaround. We found out what happened. We found out what happened in Chicago. We had the war council. Through the Spirit, we set things up, and we was out there, man. Brothers from California came out. Brothers from Texas drove 16, 18 hours, man.
LA came.
Yeah, LA came out, man.
The Bay came. They drove almost 2 days.
Yeah, they drove. Yeah, they was driving, man. So that's what this truth is about. Let me get one precept. 1 Peter 2:17. As apologies for not being able to mention every brother. I know they're prominent brothers and other brothers we ain't mentioned. I know them brothers in Indiana. They've been in the camp a long time. We didn't mention Indiana. A lot of them brothers, Yair, Gabar, Ariel,
So lucky, I think Yair in Indiana, he been out there since 2020, right? 2020. I remember getting the brother number.
Con. Yep. Brothers, their brother Mikael in Cleveland, he been in the camp a long time, maybe 5 years or so, man. We want to mention every brother, but we are dealing with the information that we were given. We'll just put it like that. We was given it, we got the information, so we calling out the names that we have. And Lord willing, we could do something for brothers and do this again, Pentecost time. Maybe get brothers a bottle of wine, take care of brothers, man. X, Y, and Z. So can I get one precept, King? 1 Peter 2:17.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse number 17. Honor all men. Love the brotherhood.
Do what?
Love the brotherhood.
It's a brotherhood, man. And we still, God forbid, we still here 5 more years. It should be the same brothers in the same room. It should be the same brothers, man, in your same city. Right? Love the brotherhood. Don't let no confusion, God forbid, a woman, money, power, preeminence, and folly come between you and the brothers, man. There's plenty of times brothers don't see eye to eye, man. Right? Brothers got into it plenty of times, man. We're not going to let nothing come between the work of the Most High and the brotherhood in our families. God, love the brotherhood. Read on.
Love the brotherhood, fear God,
Fear God,
honor the king.
honor the who?
Honor the king.
Fear God and honor the king through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Awashad, man. Love the brotherhood. You got brothers been in this body 10 plus years, 9 years, 8 years, 7 years, still laboring, still at camp, still doing the work of the Most High, man. Right? So, you know, that's a beautiful spirit for them brothers to be able to endure. And you brothers has been in this thing 2 years, 3 years, you up and coming, all praise to the Most High, man. Stick around, man. We got a lot more work we got to do, man. It's a lot of strong brothers with strong, amazing spirits, right? We trying to do something beautiful and magnify the name of the Most High, man. Right? And don't let your own demons separate you from the body. Don't let your own spirits or what you got going on separate. Speak to brothers, man. Candidly. Brothers are here for you. Get counsel. Call a brother. Talk to brothers, man. However many brothers are in this in the camp right now, it should be those same brothers around this time next year. And you officers, you head to the camps, man. It's your job to make that happen. You know? So we wanted to shout out brothers through the spirit, and I believe that was one more thing. Promotions. We talked about promotions, and you brothers that are have particular ranks, having a way to distinguish brothers by rank. Rather we do vest or different garments, or we were talking about that as well, right? So brothers that have different ranks that are about to be promoted, having certain distinguishing marks to have that be seen, if that makes sense. You know, we don't have that done in its totality, but that's something that we're looking to do as well through the spirit. And shout out to brothers that do get their promotions out there publicly at Pentecost, man. Brothers that completed the prospect program, brothers that just became lieutenants, brothers that just became officers, that just became priests, that just became these different offices. We want to shout out them brothers for their promotions as well through the spirit, man. What else? All right, so, you know, Most High willing, man, this was edifying for brothers. We encourage brothers to stay in the spirit. We encourage brothers to love the brotherhood, to be complicit with all of the things that were brought out. You know, and again, shout out to the brothers that's been around, that's been sticking around through thick and thin, and that continually stay around as we do the work of the Most High and as we approach the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. God, with that, Yahweh Bashima Mashiach Kwamalak Yahweh Shai, Brakatham, Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala.